Ugh.
So fucking tired. This week it
It's the
should
start
end
of every
already.
episode.
Honestly, it is though. The thing with this episode, though, even though I don't think we got anybody in the chat yet, um, we got so much news to go through. So this beginning section is gonna be literally us doing the what's it called? Um,
What we've been playing?
what we've been playing, and then the shilling. So do you want to do it this week? I don't remember who does it because it's been a while.
It's been
Yeah,
2 weeks since you looked at me. Um, sure. So wait, we're opening the show
just I
immediately?
would say open the show immediately, and then we'll get into the news and some. I don't even know, man. It's a time.
Who even are we? Um,
You know
one
what?
second.
That was the intro to the podcast right there. I'm gonna play the motherfucking intro music
All
right
right,
now.
boom, go.
There it is.
You know AO got the sauce.
What? Level up, gamers, and welcome to another episode of the Save Before Quitting podcast. Uh, I go by the name of Ant, and right here with me, as always,
Hey, how you doing?
it's Chris.
I'm a little stuffy today. I'm Chris and I'm stuffy. I had a sick day where I still worked and it sucked.
Yep.
Oh man.
Welcome to working at home.
Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like I don't have much of an excuse working from home. If I'm sick, it's like, well, you're home. What else are you gonna do? Might as well do the work. But yeah, did a little work today. I feel like shit. My head's throbbing, and my nose is a little on the stuffy side, as you can hear. So we're gonna have
And
to make our way through that this episode.
we were supposed to record this yesterday, but
Yeah.
I couldn't record yesterday because that's when I was dying.
Yeah, it's something going around. Probably it's probably from the wildfires in Canada coming on down.
Yes, the symptoms from that.
Yeah,
It was real too. Like I'm driving home yesterday from work and it's pounding. I'm like, yo, like to the point where I was like, I need to like close my eyes.
yeah.
That's how much it hurt.
I feel that entirely. Mine literally kicked in out of nowhere in the middle of the night last night. Like I was having a
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine day yesterday. Nothing crazy. Played some Discord games with friends because they have like activities and shit in Discord now. And finished
Right,
that up.
right.
I lay down. I fall asleep, and then I wake up like an hour later, just like body aching, head throbbing, fucking cold sweats, and I'm like, I'm
See,
dying. Okay, cool. Here's where we are. I'm dying right now, and I don't know. I didn't sleep the rest after that. So needless to say, I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep, maybe. So
oh shit, man, we could have recorded this tomorrow.
we needed to get this done. I wanted to work on this. So
I got it. I respect it. I respect it.
tell the people where they can find us and such.
Save letter B number 4 quitting on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube.
Titty.
The acronym is TITTY. For all our first time listeners, TITTY. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Titty. Be a part of the Titty Gang. Speaking of Titty Gang, we have merch that says Titty Gang on it, and we have other merch.
Yeah.
So go to Save Before Quitting, all the way spelled out.com to look into that. Also save Before Quitting, all the way spelled out.com Save Before Quitting, all spelled out at gmail.com. And you can email us, send us things, send us love, send us hate, send us praise, send us insults,
Sure.
all that good stuff. Also Discord. Follow us on Discord, please. It's a great time. We talk about games are around the clock, constantly updating it with news and info and funny stuff and memes and fitness and weekly pickups.
There's a lot in there.
There is a lot in there. It's a one-stop shop
Hell
for
yeah.
all your gaming that don't stop.
It definitely didn't stop this past week, I'll tell you what. God damn. This is gonna be a news heavy episode.
It didn't stop so much that we couldn't put the podcast out last Friday. I'm sorry. Last
Yeah.
Friday because news kept happening. So we're like, all right, well, let's just wait till it all happens
Yeah.
and then drop.
So this is like a 2 weeks worth of podcast in one. So we're gonna kind of speed run it, I think, when it comes to like the showcases and shit. Like we're kind of just gonna like go down the like we have a list of each showcase and like what was shown. I don't think there's many things we're gonna hang up on. Maybe 4 or 5 things that we'll take a quick second to get more thoughts on. But then we also have a shit ton of news in the Discord as well, so we got to do that. But before we do that, we have a segment that we always do, and that segment is I didn't prep clicking the button, so now I'm there.
Did you play this week?
And what'd you play this week? What you been technically 2 weeks worth of game?
Yeah, no. Street Fighter 6.
I've been seeing a lot of memes about that.
I really like Street Fighter 6. I haven't been really into a fighting game in a while. Maybe since I'm trying to think the last modern fighting game I was really into. It was either the last Mortal Kombat game or Dragon Ball Fighters.
Fighters was cool, I think, but I did not
like
play
Fighters
as much
a
as I
lot.
wanted to.
I used to play the shit out of that. But Street Fighter 6, man, Capcom, they've been knocking it out of the park. On the low, Capcom has had a streak.
Oh yeah,
right now, especially with the Resident Evil games and the remakes and stuff, and now Street Fighter, and they've been killing shit.
Hell yeah.
But Street Fighter's great. I won't, if I were to play this on the stream again, I promise I wouldn't lose every fight now. And the main reason is because they let you switch it back to classic Street Fighter controls.
That is very cool.
I could not with those modern controls. And it was for the new people controls, they're easy. It's it's so easy that people used to traditional, it was foreign.
Yeah.
So as soon as I switched that back, I'm getting KOs left and right. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is Street Fighter.
I know what the fuck I'm doing.
I know how to play this game now. So it's dope. Learning a bunch of the new characters. I didn't get too far in the world tour mode. I was kind of just really perfecting, seeing who I want to play as, making sure I had the controls down, learning they got a lot of new techniques in the game that you can implement into the fights. I've been doing a lot of that. My homie Jay came over last weekend and we just sat down here and played that for 3 hours.
Fucking dope. Somehow, because I'm I've been trying to play video games with Chris for months. It just so happened to fall into place because the moment it wasn't playing, he stopped by. He has a son too. Yeah.
He has a 1-year-old. So he comes by and him and Brendan are playing around. So eventually, Brendan gets kind of tired out and he falls asleep. So then Adrian takes that as a moment well, I'm going to go chill out. Y'all talk to you guys. And Trent was on my computer playing, what is he always playing? Gmod. And so at that point, Jay was like, oh, you got Street Fighter 6, right? I'm like, oh yeah. And then I just had a window because the baby's asleep, the woman is asleep, and the other son is occupied.
That was the perfect window for you too. That's great.
It was the perfect storm.
Hell
to
yeah.
happen. We had his 1-year-old kind of bouncing around a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, man, we played a couple hours of that. We were having a good time to the point where he left, got home, and bought it. He's like, I have to install this
That's
tonight.
a phenomenal review of the game right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So That's really it for me. I only played that. I haven't even played Zelda,
Damn.
and it's weird. Like there's times where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick up my Switch and play this, but I don't know because I truly do enjoy Zelda. It's just to the point where there's so many options right now. Things are coming out weekly, pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
Whether it's indie, whether it's AAA, whether it's whatever. Um, to the point where you ever have like, and I know you've had this before. There's games. In fact, I'm sure you had this before. 'Cause you talked about it on here. There's games that you know you need to get back into and complete it, like a big
Yeah.
AAA 50+ hour game, but you'll just default to something that's like easy.
Every single time.
I'm
Except
about
for
to say, I
this
know who I'm
week.
talking
But
to.
yeah. This week's a little bit different, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
My week's been a mess when it comes to gaming.
But it's interesting though, from what you've been telling me.
Jeez.
It's that it's with Zelda is like it's a AAA, probably 100+ hour game. I could dive into this and get lost, or I can just pick up and play rounds of Street Fighter, just easy in and out, just play them. And that's what's been having me this week or last 2 weeks.
Hell yeah. I'm glad it's good though. Like I didn't expect it to be as well received as it did. Like I
Mhm.
feel like we were not down on it, but we were very much like, please stop showing us shit about this game. And that happens a lot
Yeah.
with most of the games that we end up seeing, where they just keep showing
Mhm.
too much. And it kind of leans towards Capcom and Square when they do that a lot. If I have
Yeah.
to pick the companies that do it, but they fucking came out swinging, and no pun intended, and it's
Yeah.
fucking great. I love seeing all the custom creative characters that people are making. The fucking
Yeah.
abominations.
Yeah. They're hilarious looking.
Donkeys
I'm
was
sorry.
very good. If you've seen his video,
Is it new?
yeah, he just uploaded about Street Fighter 6 being better than not Legend of Zelda, better than Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Of course it is.
Well, like
But
look wise, even though his character is worse looking.
I didn't know I saw this Gollum video where he just was
Oh,
playing that.
fucking that game
I,
sad
I gotta go and watch this new one now. I didn't know he put it
for
up.
sure. It's a phenomenal one. Yeah, man, we gotta play some Street Fighter. I kind of want to play it, but I feel like you have played to the point now where like you're comfortable, you know, like
Mhm.
you're comfy, you getting knockouts and shit. I'm gonna walk in and I'm just gonna get schooled the whole time.
But see, this is one of the most pick up and play and understand Street Fighters
Okay.
I think I've ever seen.
Is that because of the new control scheme, or do you think
No,
that
no, no,
even
no, no,
without
no. The
that?
training is very thorough
Okay.
and quick too. Like you can get through like the training session and get the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can wrap your head around the basics enough to implement it in a fight in real time, you can. It's because even I went through the training, even though I know how to play it, but with all the new mechanics they added, I had to kind of wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
But yo, you can pick this up.
Who's your favorite character you've played so far?
The chick who whooped my ass in the when I played the demo, Kimberly.
She the one with
She had
like
like
the
the spray
sticks?
paint and shit.
Oh no, that was a different person.
The chick with the sticks is good too. Like I fuck with her
Okay.
too. This is dude, I forgot his name, but you keep drinks, and if you keep drinking, his power goes up, and he has like a different move set.
That's
I forgot
cool.
his name.
Like drinking isn't like alcohol, like
Yeah,
so he becomes like drunken master fighting.
but he's not. But his fighting style is already drunken master. But then when he drinks, it's even like more so. Like
Kind of like
he like
that.
these flames come off him, and he's dope. He's dope.
I want to play that character. I'm already leaning towards that one.
He's dope. And Ken and Ryu from
Just classic.
OG Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Cammy's good too. There's a lot of good characters in this game.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to eventually picking up the sticks and losing many fights to you.
Nah.
One
We'll
day.
see. We'll see.
We'll have to do the new school controls versus the old school and see which one is superior.
Man, fuck those controls.
I'm sure I'll
lose every fight if I use those.
all right.
All right, what's up with you? What you been playing?
Man, I got a list, and it's a long list because I don't know what I was doing this past week. I was like looking for something to do. Like, you ever have one of those weeks where like it kind of happened after we went to go record Save Before 5, and it kind of got fucked up a little bit because we
Mhm.
don't have the correct stuff yet to do it correctly or quality wise. And I was very disappointed by that. Just like the fact that like it wasn't working and there was nothing we could do to fix it. So like
And we actually had the time to do it.
exactly, and like I was so mad about that. And then I also had so much time last week, and I'm like, I could be working on that right now, and I can't because we couldn't film it. And like that, it's just so I was like, I need to pour my time into something else that is going to keep me distracted away from the fact that I can't make anything right now. So I finished Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Nice.
That game, to play it was really fun. The story, when it ended, I didn't understand that it was ending until like the credits rolled. If that makes sense. Like, it's been out long enough so I can say this, but like your daughter shows up from your wife that you left like years ago, and like you just go on a pirate journey with your daughter who's just on the deck of the ship. And I'm like, I feel like we haven't reached a conclusion in the story yet. Like it's kind of
Mhm.
feels like this came out of nowhere, so that kind of sucked. And I was like, whatever. But then there was a post credit scene which was sick because it showed whatever the fucking guy's name is. I can't remember the hell the name of the assassin, but him and his daughter up in like a theater, and
Mhm.
they were like up in like box seats and they were watching like a show. And I'm like, wait a second, this is the fucking box show from the beginning of Assassin's Creed 3, like chronologically. So like they're there, and then when you pick up Assassin's Creed 3, you start as like a Templar who has
Mhm.
assassin's blades, and he like is in that theater and goes to assassinate someone in a booth. So you technically crawl past that assassin that is a pirate. So I was like,
It's
that's
good
fucking
writing.
cool. Even though like
Mhm.
technically Black Flag came out a while after 3, so like
Yeah.
it's a weird timey-wimey bullshit. But also, the in real life shit didn't make any sense to me. Like some random guy showed up and drugged me, like the
I,
worker of Abstergo or some shit.
like as you talk about it, I slowly start to remember it. I haven't played that since around the time it was out.
Yeah, it was just random. Like it didn't feel like a cohesive story. Like towards the end, and I was like, this is kind of shit. But like I liked the overall like playing of it. I always find it funny when
Mhm.
like there's all these weapons and shit you can buy, but like none of them are different. They're all doing the same thing. Like when it's the guns and the swords, it's just what they look like cosmetic
Yeah.
wise. And I was like, this sucks. But I like the ship battling, even though I feel like it costs too much money and like resources to upgrade, like
Mhm.
with how you play the story. And it's also just too big of a game. Like I'm not going back to that game. There's so many undiscovered locations. Not doing it. Can't.
Yeah, it's all
Um,
good.
Other than that, I've picked back up with Assassin's Creed 3. I'm just kind of chilling through that one, and I finally got to Connor, the actual assassin of the game, which is ironic because Ubisoft did show something regarding Connor at the showcase, which we'll get to.
Mhm.
So that's cool to be playing him. So I like that timeline and like this storylines. It's very good, and like Connor's kind of just like they're like he's probably my favorite assassin so far
Yeah.
that I've played with, and I've played with like 3 or 4 so far. Other than that, I for some reason I was like, I want to play a Yakuza game. So I looked up online, which is the best one to start with.
Mhm.
Everywhere was pointing to Yakuza 0, and
Mhm.
I started that shit, and that shit sucked. Like
Really?
I was so bored the whole time that I was playing it. Like you're just walking around the streets as this dude who's in the Yakuza. You then get framed, so you're not in the Yakuza anymore. But then the gameplay itself is just button mashy bullshit, and like it makes you kind of feel like you're doing combos, but you're not. And I don't know. I just did not have a good time with it, and I just straight up uninstalled it after about 4 hours of playing it because I was like, I can't anymore. Like
Damn.
plus the
I'm
story.
surprised.
There was a part in the story where you play karaoke. Like,
Yeah, I heard there's a bunch of like side weird shit in that
yeah,
game.
and like I was like, this isn't bad, but it's not good. that it's like in here. It's like, this is a rhythm game. And I'm like, okay, I know what a rhythm game is. Cool. And then you just do a 4-minute fucking karaoke song pressing along, which another thing that didn't make sense is you had to match the buttons and it's all like this, the right side of your controller. So triangle, square, circle, X. And on the controls, it showed like those 4 things being like circle is tambourine, X is clap your hands. But that's not what it was at all. Like it was literally just tap those buttons and that's the words that are coming out of the person's mouth that is singing. That's what it is.
What?
So I was like,
They're saying circle, triangle, square, all that
yeah,
stuff?
like it's literally just like Guitar Hero where it's just like a line going across and it's just like X circle to triangle, triangle, square, square, and then like different rhythms and shit. And I was like, this is stupid and a waste of my time. So I uninstalled it promptly.
Damn.
Yeah, I was not having fun with that. After that, obviously Fortnite with the new season. Played a little bit. There's some cool stuff in there going on with fucking there's mud now where you can like slide in mud and they have thermal guns with like thermal scopes, but if you have mud on you, like in the Predator movies, they can't see you through the thermal scope, which is pretty fucking cool. Other than that, they just vaulted one of the guns and added a new one today, but I haven't really dove too deep into it. But Optimus Prime is the main skin of the battle pass, which is pretty cool. Saw that movie. It was real fucking fun.
That's all I keep hearing about it.
So if you get the chance to go see it, go see it. I highly suggest it. It was a fun time, and then I really hate it because Pete Davidson's in it, and he's one of like the main Autobots in the movie, and he's my favorite character. Like he's phenomenal. Anytime he's on the screen, he just immediately takes like my attention, and I'm just like, he's stealing every single fucking scene that he's in right now. There was one thing at the end that I didn't really love during the final battle, to say the least. I'm not gonna spoil anything, it's still happening and it's still out, but at the end they did something that I was very shocked about, and I'm curious to see if someone sees it sometime soon, if they're going to also be shocked by what happens, because it's pretty big, to say the least.
Do you excuse me? Do you have to know to be in the lore of Transformers in order to understand what happens at the end? Okay, good.
Not at all.
I'm not deep in the lore of Transformers.
I don't want to spoil it, but you don't need to know shit about Transformers to know what happens at the end.
Okay, all right.
Also, these movies, like Bumblebee and this, are in the same timeline, and like all the Michael Bay ones aren't like considered canon as much anymore. So this is like this new timeline, and it's so much better. Like it's the pacing.
That's another thing I hear.
But the human parts are still shitty, in my opinion. Like they're not bad. Like this one I liked a lot because it was just like a personal thing for me. Like I was like, this story I resonate with more. But like it was still dragging in certain points where I'm like, I don't care about this person. Can we please have the robots do robot stuff? So that was the thing.
Like, you know why we're here.
Exactly. Like, and then you get there and you're happy, but then you're just like, but you made me sit through that shit. That wasn't cool, yo. But
I won't forget it.
It's fine. What was after that? I've also been playing Shrek the Yomi. That one I will most likely end up doing my Save Before Vibe video on because I don't know how I feel about it. And needless to say, it got a 70 on like Metacritic, I think. And I'd say that's about accurate for what that game is. It's not bad, but it's also not good. But it's free on PlayStation, so collect it and go play it for. I played it for an hour, I think, and then I was kind of done with it. I was like, okay, this was cool. Also Hollow Knight, I'm playing that on the Steam Deck. I'm not far by any means. In fact, I might even be stuck, some might say. But needless to say, I'm making my way through that. And then the final one, I believe, is Planet of Lana. Because I haven't done anything else besides that. And that one I'm just making my way through slowly as well. I'll probably play that on stream or something, unless Fortnite's being played that night by friends. But we'll see what happens. That's what I played this week.
No, didn't you play something today? You played a demo today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It tells you how much I liked it. I actually played 2 demos. fuck, I forgot. I played the Lies of P demo.
Oh yeah, you did play that.
That was fine. It's a Dark Souls game. Or a Soulsborne, whatever the fuck you say of it. It's fine.
Mhm.
Like there's nothing wrong with it by any means. It's just I know it's not my kind of game. And
Mhm.
even though I technically beat the first boss, like mini boss that you show up to, I was fine there being done with it. And I just did not continue afterwards because I was like, this is gonna piss me off because I died like 4 times to the motherfucker. And I think I even got a clip on YouTube because the PlayStation controller has the microphone attached to it.
Mhm.
So I hit the share button after I beat it, and I captured it, and I didn't realize that I was like uber high while fighting it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I beat it!" And it was like genuine elation. So that was pretty fun to capture.
Catch those touching moments.
Yeah, but other than that demo, which is fine, go play it. It's fine. Final Fantasy 16.
Mhm.
This demo was a mess, dude. I was
Really?
so fucking confused about what was going on story-wise the whole time. Because you start off with, like, the dude that we've seen in the trailers, like, the old grizzled version of him with, like, the long fucking emo boy hair. You know, "Tonight will be
Right.
the night that I will fall for you" hair. And and then some shit happens randomly with, like, a rock slide, and it teleports you back in time to when you're, like, a teenager as that character. And that's when you learn like the basics of fighting, but it was so fucking slow just getting to that. The cutscenes are so fucking long. There's
It's Final
just
Fantasy.
there's so much exposition, and like I get it, and I paid attention to all of it, but not once was I like, that's interesting. This is cool
Mhm.
what's happening. I was just like, can I play a game?
Right.
Like the whole fucking time. And then when I beat the demo, I was kind of like, okay, why what matters from any of the what I just did? Why did I go
Mhm.
back in time? That doesn't make sense to me. But apparently if you do beat the demo, I think it's literally the beginning of the game, so they said that it'll start you after the demo if you have your
Yeah.
demo saved to your account. So that's pretty cool, I will say, cuz if I had to replay through that, I'd kill myself. Straight up.
And we can't have that.
It was bad. It was so fucking
Mhm.
bad. I was like, there's too much talking. Like get to the gameplay, or at least give me
Right.
gameplay first, and then we can do some talking. Like
Something.
I need to be grabbed by what this is, which is a game, before I get grabbed by the story. You know,
Mhm.
like it needs to be fun. And gameplay wise, it was all right. It was very spammy, where you just spam square over and over again, and then hit R1 to dash out of the way, circle to get in
Mhm.
close and dive in. And then I don't know if I had like a control thing set up where it like automatically did my moves, but
Yeah.
there was one where you hold R2 and press square, and you do like this like phoenix wing, like because it's like a phoenix or whatever, and you do this phoenix wing fire attack, but like it would just happen when it was ready, not when I would trigger it, which was like weird to me. So I don't know if I fucked something up or the
I
controls
gotta
are
play
fucked
this
up.
game.
It's fine. It's not bad by any means. It's gorgeous as well. Like it looks fucking
Mhm.
stunning. I
I was
just
seeing people on Twitter saying how good it
yeah.
looks.
Like above everything else, it looks fucking phenomenal.
Mhm.
Gameplay wise, extremely simple, dumbed down hack and slash in my opinion. And then like there was one boss fight that we did, and like it wasn't that it was bad. It was just like it didn't feel like a boss fight, if that makes sense. Like they made like the story made it seem like it was just like this big deal, like holy shit, this is a thing that's scary
Mhm.
and it's big, and I fucking like just casually beat it, and I'm like, why
Didn't
would
deliver.
why was that so easy to beat? And I'm like, I didn't change my settings or anything so that it was easier or anything, so I'm like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
But it was fine. It was fine. Go play it. I recommend it because, and then if you want to skip the story stuff, I would not be bad about that. I think that's a good idea to maybe just skip through some of the cutscenes because they get a little bit tedious at certain points.
There's certain Final Fantasy games where the story is kind of like long and the what's the term for when you talk too much. Long in the tooth, some shit. But they're fucking. It's just like I want to get back to the game. Let me
Yeah,
fight.
very much so. It felt like that a lot, but you also don't
But
get.
Final
I forgot-
Fantasy's always been about a ton of exposition. That's like
Yeah.
that's their whole shit.
I will say it felt like you didn't get enough fighting in this
Mm-hmm.
for it to be a demo, if that makes sense. Like it felt more like in early access, you get to play the first 30 minutes of the game, but it's like an
Mhm.
hour plus of just exposition with like shitty tutorial on how to fight, oversimplified controls, nothing that's like super groundbreaking. It just looks real pretty. And that's fine. It's I'm not looking to be fair, I'm also not the audience for Final Fantasy, so like that makes sense. But yeah,
I get it. Makes sense.
that's all I played this week. It was a mixed bag of shit.
Yeah, you played a lot.
Yeah. I might be playing Overwatch after this because the new season came out, but I don't know because it'll depend on what time we end after we get through these news stories.
We ain't even get to the news yet.
Yeah. But we are there right now, so here comes
Right now.
the news bumper.
Let's get to the news.
Yay.
I
news.
fucked up and I forgot to bring your camera over from this scene. Doing it live. I hate Streamlabs so much. It'll be sick if Streamlabs OBS was just like, you know what, we're gonna work. And we're gonna do it the right way. But no. So where do we start
We'll
in the
see.
news? Are we talking about Phantom whatever Blade Zero? Is that
That
first?
is the first news story.
All right. So we're gonna kind of zoom through these.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. I don't even know if I'm going to read all of these because Jesus Christ. Some information about Phantom Blade Zero. There will be no microtransactions, accessible Souls-like mechanics, not entirely focused on punishing difficulty, Ninja Gaiden style of combat, may publish an art book, makes full use of DualSense haptic feedback features. Weapons have unique moves and combos. Soul, the protagonist, is a law enforcement officer manipulated by the Order, a powerful organization maintaining balance between good and evil. And Soul, like Zhao Shang, was adopted by the patriarch of the Order, trained to become an expert in espionage and murder. His job is to
Whoa.
eliminate any person or faction considered disturbing by the Order.
Don't be disturbing around him.
Wow. Festini hasn't been merciful to Soul. He was manipulated as a pawn in many conspiracy, and Soul frees
What?
himself from manipulation by the player and sets out to leave a light of hope in an otherwise miserable place.
This is gonna be one of those games where I'm just like, just point me in the direction where I can swing my sword.
Yeah. I feel that this one almost feels similar to a Final Fantasy when it in the story explanation, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. But I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it from that one trailer that we got because that was phenomenal.
Definitely a standout in the PlayStation showcase.
Probably one of the only besides Spider-Man in my eyes. No offense to the rest of them, but that was like a big one for me. So
Yeah.
next up, what do we got?
Well, we really didn't record in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Apple officially revealed their Vision Pro mixed reality headset. Apple revealed its long rumored mixed reality headset, the Vision Pro, which CEO Tim Cook called a revolutionary product. The Vision Pro will release sometime early next year and will retail at $34.99. That's not $34.99. That is $3,499. Like I said in the chat, in the Discord, this thing better travel through time and tell the future.
A lot of people were saying I feel like this is more so not for like regular people, it's more for like businesses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like corporations to do like stuff like with work from home and how that is nowadays. And
Yeah, they showed a whole bunch of examples of that in
Yeah.
the trailer for this thing.
So I feel like it's more so that while it does have the Apple Arcade games built into it that are playable day one, I don't think that's the like use of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely meant for corporate life the games are there, but you better be sure that if you have a company that you work for and they got these, they are putting a firewall on that game section, and you are not touching that shit.
They showed someone in the trailer for it, like answering texts
Yeah,
and moving things out the way. It made it look very impressive. I'm sure it will be impressive for that price point. This is something I would need to try first.
yeah. I mean, I feel like they'll end up coming out with one that's more consumer friendly at some
Of
point,
course they will.
just
Yeah.
because this is definitely the higher end type spec thing. Like even with like the lack of a battery, in my opinion, 2 hour battery with a standalone battery pack is not a lot in my opinion, especially for how
Mhm.
much you're paying for it.
Yeah.
It does have 4K resolution per eye, spatial audio, ray tracing, and it controls with your eyes and hands. So it's less of a screen more than an AR device. More so, like you can use it for VR, but AR seems to be the target more so. Um, but yeah, do you think they'll make AR porn?
Of course.
Because like we got VR porn, and like that stuff's weird.
Anything that people can put porn into, they're going to put porn into
Yeah.
it.
I feel like AR porn would be scary. Because like if you think about it, you're looking through, so you will see yourself in the
Yeah.
situation of whatever is happening, some POV type shit. That'd be
Mhm.
crazy, yo. If like some random lady's just in your house via AR, like that's crazy.
That is wild.
I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be weird, and we're gonna get some weird shit, and I'm looking forward to it because I think that's funny more than anything else. I'm gonna skip over this next one because we know we'll talk about it in a minute. But Grimace's birthday started yesterday.
Hey, give it up for my dog Grimace.
The purple puff, or what do you think he is?
Purple. Oh, he is for sure a bag of trash painted purple.
I always thought that he was a
He's
chicken
a
nugget.
butt plug. Oh, or that.
Like he looks like one of the shapes of one of the chicken nuggets, but if it fell under the grill and like just stayed there for years, and he evolved into Grimace.
That's scary to think about.
Yeah, but there's nothing special besides one thing for this. They have different packaging for it and whatnot, but they have a new milkshake. I did get it today.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say, I believe, what the flavor is. They just said it's Grimace's thing. I can't pinpoint what the flavor is, but it's good. Like genuinely, it's good. It tastes like a mix of almost like a berry, but also floral, kind of. Like almost like a lavendery taste. But it fucking hits. So if you're near a McDonald's, try and go grab one. Get a small because you don't need that much more than a small in my opinion. But it hit. I was like, okay.
It's just it's a cup of cold Grimace blood. They
That
just grinded them up.
maybe. Probably.
Happy birthday, Grimace. You're going into the drinks.
Next up, some big news from Twitch that was immediately recalled.
Twitch has new branded content guidelines. On-stream logos are limited to 3% of the screen size. Burned-in video ads are not allowed. Burned-in display ads are not allowed. Burned-in audio ads are not allowed.
Yeah.
Was there more to it than this?
So there's a little bit
headline,
more past this, but I didn't post any of the updates. Pretty much the whole general gist is, Twitch pretty much fucked creators, and not
What it sounds
necessarily like smaller creators, because obviously a lot of us smaller creators don't have like sponsors and shit. But a lot of the bigger creators on the platform, they'll do like bigger events and stuff, and they'll get those like paid for by ads and like ad space and shit. Like the Streamer Awards was paid for by like Fansly and like Grubhub, I think. And Chess Boxing, that was also sponsored by Fansly and some other stuff. And like that's
Right.
how they get the money to do the event and just break even. And then they'll make money on top of that from like, merch sales at the venue and shit like that. But either way, that's how people made their money. Needless to say, they've come back off of it, and they completely
better have.
changed it because people who were bigger streamers were threatening to completely leave Twitch. and talking shit on it. There was even a clip today that was going around that was viral with a streamer. I don't know what he does, if I'm being honest, but he's a bigger streamer and he has a phenomenal camera. And he's just in chat for like an hour talking to chat about like how Twitch is kind of fucking bless you,
Excuse me.
blessed.
Thank you.
But he's talking to his Twitch chat about like how Twitch is fucking up. And one
Right.
of the Twitch staff members shows up in his chat, which they do that from time to time. And whenever that happens, it always feels like the cops are in the chat. Like when like that situation happens.
You're in
And
York.
this dude who's Twitch staff pretty much starts telling the streamer, like, listen, I love you, man. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're just way off. And he's like, you're telling me I'm wrong by saying that. Like, you saying that I'm way
Mhm.
off is the same thing as saying that I'm wrong. And
Right.
like now you're making this a big deal. You're taking over the stream, and now it's like me versus you for some reason on my stream. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. And he goes to ban the what's it called? The Twitch staff from
The-
his chat.
yeah.
Because he's like, get the fuck out of my chat. You're making this about you, and it's making me uncomfortable. And he goes to ban him. You're not allowed to ban Twitch staff. So then the Twitch staff's like, really? You went to ban me? Wow. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going offline, and just ended his stream. So
The fuck?
I don't know what the fuck Twitch is doing, man. And like, obviously, we're not big enough for it to affect us in any way, like that's like meaningful. But like,
Mhm.
they are trying to kill this website, and I don't know why. But they're
I don't
making
get the motivation.
they're making bad choices, and it's really annoying to say the least. Like one of the things, I don't know if it was for this exact same reason. I don't even like this content creator, but Mizkif from OTK was
Mhm.
banned on Twitch like a day or two before their games expo that they were hosting, which was supposed to be, I believe, hosted on Twitch. And if you're banned on Twitch, you're not allowed to be on anyone else's channel, or else they'll get banned, which
Oh,
is
shit.
bullshit in my opinion.
I think so.
That's why a lot of streamers couldn't play with Dr. Disrespect when his shit happened. He got banned. Like they just couldn't play with him ever until they switched over to YouTube, which we'll get to that in a little bit as well.
Mhm.
But needless to say, Twitch is bad, and they're backpedaling while also keeping stuff in the terms of service like buried down deep that are kind of still trying to fuck over creators. So
Yeah.
kind of shitty. Hopefully they aren't shitty forever. Please stop sucking dick.
Please don't suck dick. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Not good. You can skip over the next link and then go straight to the good one.
TMNT. Well, Dotemu, the people who made a lot of dope shit. Streets of Rage 4, Shredder's Revenge, came out and said TMNT Shredder's Revenge Dimension Shell Shock DLC is coming in a reveal trailer that showed brand new levels, brand new character. I'm incredibly excited, of course.
Oh yeah.
They didn't give a exact date. It just did this year.
Mm-hmm. This was also before all the showcases and stuff too, right? It was just, like,
just
random.
randomly, middle of the day,
Yeah.
just drop this information.
Yeah, pretty cool. I love Usagi no Jimbo, the bunny,
good old rabbit guy.
little bunny samurai. I wanted to get an action figure of him for my display, but I never ended up doing that, sadly.
They said new character colors, new stages,
And they brought back the NES look too.
There is clearly a stage in here. It's not obviously, they haven't said exactly what's happening, but there is a stage or a dimension, and it looks like you go back to like pixel art NES time,
Mm-hmm.
and the enemies' backgrounds and the turtles have like faux NES graphics, and that just warmed my heart.
Yeah. What's the name of the dude in the middle of the picture? The duck guy. Forget what his name is. I've seen toys of him.
I don't remember.
It ain't Launchpad McQuack.
No, I don't remember. I know who exactly you're talking about too.
No. I'm gonna Google it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Ace Duck. I was right.
Has easy name.
Look at that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I still haven't beaten this game yet. Like story wise, like I never
Mhm.
went from beginning to end with it. So maybe this will give me an excuse to re-download this on the ye old Xbox Game Pass.
I am in. I can't wait. I'll just dive right back in
Hell
like
yeah.
I was the first time.
Next up in the news, I'm gonna skip past this link as well because this is about Twitch backpedaling. But we got a look, and by a look I mean an entire reveal of the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition. Right
Mhm.
after the 2023 Summer Games Fest showcase, which we'll get into eventually. I feel like we gotta like figure out which order we're gonna go in. Capcom obviously has to start because it was the shittest, I think.
Yeah.
And then maybe Devolver, Day of Devs. Ubisoft will be closer to the end, and then Summer Games Fest is the last one probably. But
Mhm.
for the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, if you'd like to go see the pictures, go and join our Discord, !Discord in the chat or down below in the description. You get a steelbook
Yep.
display case, which is of the concept art that I was fucking marking out
Loving.
over during the Summer Games Fest. Looks amazing. A full digital PS5 game, which is interesting that you get a display case for the game, but you're getting a digital version of the game in the collector's edition. So
Mhm.
that's interesting. You also get a 19-inch collector's edition statue featuring Venom in the center with both Miles and Peter attacking from above.
19-inch.
I was at first like 100% going to get this, but I don't think I will because I'm terrified of that breaking. If you look at it, Miles is already in a situation where I feel like he might like break off by accident, but Peter is
Mhm.
exclusively connected to the statue through a web line.
Yo, Webley. Yeah. I'm looking at that.
That's it. That shit, if you go to put it on a shelf and that accidentally hits the wall or something, that's snapping right off.
I didn't even think about that.
So I'm not going to put myself in that position, and I'm probably just going to go to the deluxe edition. But you also get pre-order bonuses with this collector's edition with 2 early unlock suits of both Peter and Miles as Arachnite for Peter, and then also I think Miles is not an actual thing in the comics or anything. It's just like a variation of that. But
Mhm.
with those 2 suits, Arachnite for Peter is actually Moon Knight and Spider-Man mixed in the comics, and it was really cool. You get those unlock suits, but you also get different colors for them as well. So each of them get 3 color variants besides the main one. Um,
Yeah.
I hate to say I like Peter's more, but I kind of like Peter's more. No offense to Miles, it's just doesn't he looks more like an Assassin's Creed homage for Miles than it does.
It does. When I first saw this, without knowing the history of what the Arachnite was,
Yeah.
I was like, this. I thought it was Assassin's Creed. I'm
Yeah.
like, the hell?
It also doesn't help that with Miles' suit, it has like a little pointed hood as well.
Yeah.
So like it's like, yeah, that's Assassin's Creed. But there's also with the digital deluxe edition, what you get is 10 unique suits for both Peter and Miles. You can go to our Discord to look at that picture, but every single one is designed by a different artist that worked on the game. So
That's
they're
fire.
not actually like comic accurate by any means. They're just 10 unique suits on top of what's probably already in the game. These aren't like all the suits that you can probably unlock. Um I'm a really big fan of the Peter as like Renaissance looking dude. That one's the goofiest
I see.
looking one.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you go check those out on our Discord. So yeah.
Game of the year right there. Next up, Jeff Snyder went to Twitter to say Nintendo and Universal are in the process of closing a big deal for the Legend of Zelda movie. Zelda is looking like the next big Illumination Nintendo franchise, which we were all sort of expecting. I'm told that it's happening. As soon as this news hit the Twitterverse, it was eventually everywhere, pretty much solidifying
Hell yeah.
the headline. So, I guess this was the natural next thing. I guess I thought the next thing would be like because they said they were going to make a Donkey Kong spinoff too from the Mario movie.
That could work. Yeah. I could see them doing an
So
MCU with this shit. You know? Like,
I think so too. It's just I didn't want to get my hopes up for that, but at the same time, I was like, would that actually work? If I took my fanboy hat off,
Yeah.
does that actually work?
you make a Smash Brothers movie. That's the Avengers for them.
But like,
But it would end, in my opinion. Like, you need to end it definitively with that. You know what I mean?
I think it makes too much. I think they make too much money now. Like, I feel like Mario movies just going to keep coming out now.
That works. That's fine.
But like,
Yeah.
because that would put them in a place where they have to make movies for at least the core characters of Smash Brothers.
hmm
So they'd have to make the Mario movie, the Zelda movie, the Donkey Kong movie, the Star Fox movie, the Metroid movie. And I'm sure they're going to eventually get to some of these.
Yeah.
But then, like, do you add the third party people? Like, do you add, like,
No.
do you somehow strike a deal with Paramount so that you can have Sonic show up in the Smash Brothers movie?
I would make it more of like the first Smash, if that makes sense. Like the roster of the first Smash game, then it would be
Right.
Ultimate. I feel like Ultimate's biting off more than you could chew. You know?
Yeah, I definitely know that's not happening.
But also, I feel like even if you did do a Smash movie, you don't have to have like movies for all the others people as well. Like, you can have a Kirby movie, and you can have like, you know, in theory a Pikachu movie. I don't know if they would do, or if he would even be in it. To be honest with you.
But see, you'd have to make a deal with, well, because then it's like they have Detective Pikachu out. So then I guess Nintendo would have to make their own Pokemon / Pikachu movie.
Yeah, they could
With
also just straight
Illumination.
up have him just show up in the movie. Like, he
Yeah.
just is there, kind of like Spider-Verse esque, where it's just like
Mm,
they're
mm.
there. These are the people. You know who they are because you know who they are. Type situation.
But see, then that would make me think that that movie could come sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
Because then you could use Smash Brothers as a jumping off point to make those other movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like they could be chilling there, and then you just see, I don't know, like Captain Falcon in a corner, and they have a conversation with him about his own motivations of wanting to be there,
hmm
which leads into an F-Zero movie for some reason, or a show or whatever.
That could work. It could work.
But I don't know. Zelda's coming. I mean, you'd have to be a fool to not think they weren't going to make a Zelda movie after that.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. I didn't think it would be the next thing. I thought we'd get either Donkey Kong or Mario 2 before we'd get Zelda.
Yeah. I don't know. I still want a Luigi's Mansion movie. That's what my
I think that makes a whole lot of sense too.
that one I think is just so easy to do for them too.
They pretty much, that one segment in the Mario movie where he's goes to the dark land or whatever, where he's getting into about to go to Bowser's castle.
Mhm.
I was like, this looks like if the movie from here on out was this would be Luigi's Mansion.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they were doing that on purpose too, to be honest. Like, it's one
Yeah,
of those
for
things where they
sure.
were like, it was not only just an homage to Luigi's Mansion, it was also like a testing the waters to see if, you know, people would be
Yeah.
interested in like a full-fledged movie that's in that setting, and I for sure am. So please, thank you.
He
Nintendo.
got there and did the whole like Mario, like calling out for Mario thing. So yeah, you see what they were trying to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it will work for sure.
Hell yeah. Next up,
But yeah, man.
in the news, this is a little bit of a not good news, because it's about Call of Duty. So Call of Duty recently got 2 operator skins in the store from some very big streamers, one of which that I was a huge fan of, and the other that is a friend of his, by the name of Nick Merckx. And the other one was Tim Tatman, but he's not relevant till later. So, pretty much what happened was, there's a school district inside of Glendale, California, at a school board meeting where they were pretty much deciding and voting on if they want to recognize Pride Month and like teach their
Mhm.
children about like people in history that were, you know, lesbian, bisexual, gay, trans, all of that. Just like taking it to the school board, right? So you had
Mhm.
demonstrators that were pro LGBTQ just saying like, yeah, let's vote for that so that kids can learn and they can have
Right.
options to learn. And then they were physically attacked by anti-LGBTQ groups, right outside the school board meeting, and it was first responded to by, I think this was in like an Overwatch like pro, and they said this happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life. That's what that person said.
Right.
Then Nick Merckx came in. Nick Merckx, very bro Chad looking streamer, says they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. And needless to say, that didn't go over well, because then Call of Duty removed his operator bundle that had just been added a week or two prior from the store. And the backlash from it has been confusing, to say the least. Because not only was this technically, like, his statement was very much a hateful, don't teach our kids things, and it was very much a, I don't want to teach them what the schools are going to teach them. I want to be able to control what they know, pretty much. That's what it came off across as. And people took it that way and took it even farther than that, saying that Nick was anti-everything. Like, he hates the gays, he hates everything about it. He made his own statement on Twitch, pretty much saying that as a father now, he has a new perspective and he knows more now, and that he just wants to be the one to have those conversations with his kids and like tell them what's okay to talk about and stuff, which is again not a great way to say it, because, you know, you're pretty much saying you don't want to teach them about that stuff because you don't know about that stuff. No offense, Nick, but you don't. And especially when the school board was just voting about teaching about people in history that were a part of that group. So like, so super annoying, super bad, to say the least. It's hard to navigate around, to say the least.
It is hard to navigate this comment because I hate this. A very small part of me kind of get what he's at least trying to say.
Yeah, but he's saying
I feel
it
like he's
bad.
not saying it right. At least not saying it correctly.
Yeah. I feel like, no offense to, like, I mean, obviously I can't relate to a parent because I don't have a kid. But in my mind, my understanding is that a kid is going to find out what they want to know with whatever means possible, whether it be from the school district or from the internet. The school district is trying to take an approach in which they are the ones teaching them so that it's, you know, good learning and like properly curated so it's not, you know, harmful. And this dude is saying, nah, dude, I'm going to tell him about that. But the way that you're coming across is coming across as you're against that stuff. So that's saying that you want to keep your children away from that entirely, even if they did feel that way, which is not good.
It's hard. Like that, like being in the position like that. Like, I guess as a parent, it's like, what it seems like he's trying to say is like, I want to sit down with my kids and explain it outside of school. Like, I want to give it to them the way I want to give it to them.
But that can be problematic. That's the issue. You know, especially with the way that he's talking about it, because he's definitely alluding to not being in support of that stuff in a way.
But is he not in support of LGBTQ, or is he not in support of it being the information being,
I think it's a little bit
delivered to his kids in a certain, like, because if he's just like, I don't like LGBTQ people, then that's a completely different argument. Then I'm not in support of that at all.
It's more so the ideals that people have right now.
Him, I mean.
Yeah. It's more so the fact that like people like Nick and people that have these ideals that are like, don't teach us the kids stuff in schools. Their belief is that teaching them that will then convert the kids to be something that they aren't. Which is a whole nother conversation, which is stupid, because if a kid's gay, a kid's gay. If a kid's trans, a kid's trans. Like, that's just the way it is. They don't choose to do that. They choose to take the next steps in like moving forward with it, but they don't choose those feelings, if that makes sense, you know? And right here, it's putting it in the way where it's like they don't want to give their kids the like information to choose because they believe that giving them the information will then convert them or make them something that they don't believe in, which is very much the case with the anti-LGBTQ protesters that are coming out. They think that
Yeah, now those people are pieces of shit.
yeah, like they're very much of the mind where it's like, we're trying to indoctrinate our children into being gay because you want to teach them about gay stuff. Meanwhile, if you take a step back and you look at any form of media or anything, like we're indoctrinating children to be hetero from most movies and shit in most media already, like that's
Mhm.
already a thing. There's movies about that. And then it's so confusing because people are like, well, now you're just putting gay people in all these movies and stuff and blah, blah, like you're forcing it on us. I'm like, you literally forced heteronormity through film and like TV and everything for years and like decades and what's the word for hundreds of years? But it's not 10.
Century.
That for centuries. And like you're forcing that stuff down people's throat while there are other people with different, ideologies.
I asked you this before when we were talking about it privately, but what kind of school was this?
It was just an elementary school, I believe.
It's in elementary school?
Yeah, they were just talking about we're going to teach them this because it's a part of history. These are people
It
in
is.
history that were gay, and this is Pride Month, so we're going to take this opportunity with this month to then teach them about these people. And that's all it was. And then it was blown into so much more than that. Getting past all of that, a couple days later, Tim then came out saying, it doesn't feel right that Nick's bundle was taken out of the store, but mine wasn't, so please take my skin out of the store in solidarity with my friend. So
But
that came out of nowhere, and that was hyper disappointing to me, personally.
what? If I was Nick Merckx, I would be looking at Tim the Tatman like, why? You're like,
Yeah.
For what? I get even if we're friends, it's just like no, like if the situation was me and you,
Mhm.
and they took my stuff out of the store for saying things like this, and then you were like, "Yo, I'm going to do it." I'm like, "No, why? Get like."
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're still friends. Like I don't understand the point.
No, I agree entirely. And it also just feels like really out of nowhere, and it doesn't paint Tim in a good light, in my opinion, when it comes to people with brains. And that'll get into the next part, where the response to all this is probably the opposite of what you think in the majority. Needless to say, people are in support of what Nick said, and Tim supporting him. Dr. Disrespect came out and uninstalled Call of Duty, made a big spectacle of it on stream. And it's really sad for me, just because as a certain point, I'm like, I have friends that are part of this group and that are, these are people that are physically attacking people that are like my friends and like-minded like my friends, which is, bad. And then I have a content creator that I've followed for almost 10 years now, and now he's kind of standing with the other side that can be seen as objectively wrong as the aggressors in the situation. Like, it's hard. And it sucks even more because I bought the bundle for Tim too. Like, I bought his fucking bundle. Like, and then the best part is they take Tim's bundle out. Do you think that they gave the money back to the people who got the bundles? No, it's still in their inventories if you bought it. And they're probably going to bring the skins back in like a year or so, knowing how they're going to do some bullshit to save. Next Pride, I'm going to predict this now. Next Pride month, next year, Nick's going to come out and say some shit in support of Pride month. And then Tim's also going to say some shit, and they're going to put the skins back in the store. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Quick question. Has Nick Merckx has he said anything else after all this was done?
Not much besides his very fence-sitting statement that was not painting him in the best of light.
Because I'm reading what all this says, right? I'm just going back over it. I get how you could read into it. He never just out and like, it doesn't read to me that he is anti LGBTQ.
But the problem is the response to it with all of the tweets in support of him that are saying, yeah, fuck those people. and his entire fan base and his entire chat that's like, yeah, fuck them. They don't deserve to live and shit like that. Which is
So
yeah.
and he's not
Yeah, he's more on the
he's not
fence of like, I mean, my best Nick impression. I mean, I got no problem with no gays or nothing, but like, blah blah blah. I don't like that they're going after kids and shit, which is not what they're doing. So he's already wrong there. And
I wish he would have been more specific in his tweet, because his tweet just says they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue.
well, I mean, it's specific
just-
enough. It's specific enough to know that he doesn't know what the
It
fuck's
is,
going on.
But I think his lack of words, his lack of
Yes.
elaboration
hmm
because even if he had any saving grace in how he actually felt, his lack of elaboration didn't help his cause.
It's painting him in a bad light, especially then with the community that he has grown. And like before today, I don't think he's done anything that's been like insanely wrong. Don't quote me on this. I don't really follow Nick often, but like obviously nothing like this has happened before where he's had an entire skin taken out of a fucking game that's him. But like, it's more so just the responses that they're getting from it. Because like, he could be in full support of the LGBTQ community, but the way that he's portraying his thoughts are very much not so in support. They're very much sitting on the fence, and then that's leading his fan base to then hop over the fence to the extreme side and be horrible, just fucking horrendous people.
Yeah, and he's not. I get what you're saying, because he's not like, what's the term? Right now, for lack of better terms, he's not like de-escalating his fan base.
He's not taking.
He's not jumping out there like, "Yo,
yeah.
stop, don't." That's not what I was saying.
Exactly. So
because if he was doing all of that, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I feel
but if he was doing all of that, then it would be like, oh, all right, at least you're telling them to stop, and people don't deserve that, et cetera, et cetera.
This would be a completely different situation if he was like came out. In my mind, I watch a lot of there's a streamer by the name of Hasanabi. He's a political streamer, and one of his takes on it was like he messaged Nick and was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like just straight up, like, "What are you doing? Like, this is not a good look. Like, you need to realize this isn't a good look and see what your fans are doing." And his response was pretty much as similar to his Twitch response that he did, where he was very fence sitting towards Hassan. And Hassan's like, "Dude, like, you can't do that when your fans are becoming these hateful people, And like, it's so annoying going on Twitter and seeing the objectively bad situation that's going on, and then Nick, let's say unintentionally supporting the wrong side. Let's say he's stupid as fuck and didn't know any of the details besides whatever, and he's just a misinformed fuck. Once he gets informed, in my mind, that's when you flip the switch and you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize that's what was happening, because you have other people to teach you things and like elaborate on what's happening. But he didn't, and his fence sitting to me is at least doubling down on what he said and not necessarily supporting the other side, but not saying it's bad, which is can sometimes be worse in my mind. So
no, I hear you.
Needless to say, I'm very unhappy about. I was very frustrated this day, to say the least, when that came out. And I'm hoping that somehow in the future he decides to come out and talk on it in a way that gives his opinions like specifically, because I feel like we live in a day and age where it's like, yeah, you can keep your political views to yourself, but things like this I don't think are political in my mind. Like, it's not politics to like teach people about people who are different, in my mind. And it's so it's weird, because it's like there's not much gray area. Like, it's very simple. Like, these people are very good and just trying to exist and are proud that they have a community, and these people are physically attacking people. Like, why are those the people in the right for the community? That doesn't make sense, and it doesn't compute, and it's so fucking frustrating. But that's the most we'll talk about that. We can dive in a little bit further if people want us to. if anything else comes out from it. But as of now,
Mhm.
both skins are no longer in the store. I'm trying to get a refund on mine. I don't think they'll give it to me. Um, but in my mind, I'm still gonna play Call of Duty because I think Call of Duty made the correct decision here. So it's a rare, very rare Call of Duty W. So
Good job,
I'll
Activision.
give them that because they do a lot of fucked up shit behind the scenes. This is very rare for them to be in the right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on from that and get a couple of these else done, and then we get into some motherfucking showcases.
Word. Sony has sent a new version of Across the Spider-Verse to theaters with updated sound mixing. That's great.
Yeah,
It's great. Sound in these movies are amazing, especially even if you just base it on the soundtrack.
oh dude, it's so good. I was kind of pissed though. I went to go see Rise of the Beasts, and that took up
Mhm.
all the IMAX and the Dolby screenings in the Chamonix. They didn't put any Spider-Verse. It's only in regular theaters now. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
What?
yeah, like I understand it's
That
been
shit
out-
was way too successful to
exactly. And what was the other one that was funny? It's coming out soon. Oppenheimer, the one about the bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
That and Barbie are both like sharing the IMAX and Dolby when those two come out, but they also come out at the same time as the next Mission Impossible movie. And Tom Cruise
Mhm.
is pissed because he cannot get his movie in Dolby or IMAX, and that's what it was shot for.
Oh
So
shit.
he's not happy. But
I wouldn't be either if I was him.
no offense, I'm looking forward to Barbie more than I am the next Mission Impossible, to say the least.
I'm just on the basis of I shot my movie this way.
Yeah, 100%.
I would be
So
highly upset.
that shit's funny to me. But next up, OTK is a streaming group of a bunch of streamers on Twitch and some on YouTube, I believe. And they had a games expo right before the Summer Games Fest.
This is another one I didn't get to go back and look at. I was doing something at the time.
This one was pretty good, in my opinion. If you do have the time to go swing by and check out some of the reveals, I will say that the streamers there are normally not in this setting, if that makes sense. Like they're
Mhm.
more so entertainers, and in this games expo, it very much feels like they're putting on not necessarily a mask, but like they're putting on the presenter feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not really talking like their normal shit that they would talk on if they think a game looks like shit or something. It's just straight up like
Yeah.
love for every single game, which is fine. But you could see if you look at the chat even kind of got a little bit of a look at it, and were saying that they were seeming a little fake, to say the least. But there were a lot of really cool games that were shown off in this.
I'm looking at some of these like quick clicks of them on their Steam page.
There was one specifically, I think it was
Slave
called
Zero looks fire.
Ugly. There's a game called Ugly,
Ugly?
that looked pretty good, and then there was another one that was, I think, also by Devolver, called Esophagus or something like that. Let me double check the there's like the page that has all the games and shit. It's not that one. I'm just gonna go through these top to bottom. Airborne Empire. There's a link in our Discord if you'd like to go check these games out and wishlist them. Atomic Picnic. Turnip Boy looks phenomenal. Gangs of Sherwood looks like a nice fun party game. Slayer Zero is all you. You will love that game. Slayer Zero.
I just said that too. Like Slayer Zero looks fire. Looks like old Shinobi.
Hell yeah. I don't remember Saturnalia that too much, but it looks interesting. Creature Keeper. This one's really cool looking. Stars in the Trash. It is a 2D animated. Pretty much looks like Stray, but it's like Disney 2D animated, and it looks really.
Which one is
Stars in the Trash?
Hold on,
There is a demo out right now that you can play for that one, so I highly recommend that.
Oh yeah, the animation on this is really good.
Next up was Resistance 204X, which is kind of like a Street Fighter-esque fighting game with like crazy goofy characters and shit.
Yeah.
Robocraft 2, Mini Shoot Adventures, Bullet Casters, which is like a bullet hell game. Aloft, I don't remember. Riftbound is kind of like Plants vs. Zombies, but more pirate themed. Deceit 2 looks okay. Mob Factory looks like kind of like your game, but like Bloons Tower Defense, but in your style. King of the
Oh, I
Hat.
see the games you were talking about now.
King of the Hat is also a really cool looking game that I think that you would be interested in. We need to play when it does come out on October 21st.
That looks fun.
Another one that is really fun and cool looking is Slope Crashers, in which you're playing as a like bird and you're skateboarding / snowboarding down mountains. The one that was probably the goofiest and kind of creepiest was Asafa Guys, and I think
The Safa
you
guys.
need
I
to
was
play
like, what
this.
the fuck?
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Psychic Pebbles, if you remember him and Oni on YouTube and Newgrounds back in the day, his character, but it's a long esophagus character, and
Yeah.
it's a team-based platformer where you have to get across to the different levels. There is a demo. I'm going to be installing it. Tevi Ugly is one that I think looks phenomenal. It is hand animated every single frame.
Yeah, I'm seeing
They
this.
have no reused assets in the game. That was one thing that they made a big deal
Oh,
of talking
shit.
about, and it looks fucking phenomenal. Bodhi, Biteland Overclocked kind of looks like Astrobot, but without the fun PlayStation references.
Mhm.
Patrick's Parabox
Looks good, though.
This one I don't remember. It's just kind of like a puzzle game. There's a shipping game that looks kind of like Overcooked, but we're like shipping like FedEx or like an Amazon warehouse. Whisker Squadron.
Yo, Whisker Squadron Survivor looks
There's a
fun.
demo.
That looks like some OG. Oh shit!
Toss that on the Steam Decks. That's a Steam Deck game, baby. Whisker
I
Squadron
might have to
Survivor.
go get that.
Demon Spore, I believe, also looked pretty neat for what it was. Not my direct type of game, but it's like that overhead shooter type where, like, you know, there's enemies constantly coming at you and you gotta move your mouse around to aim and shit.
Mhm.
First Dwarf, I like the look of it, but I'm not a big fan of, you know, farming-esque games. Same thing for Knights Foretold. It looks like RuneScape-ish. Elements is another one. Agent 64 Spies Never Die looks like GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
But you can also build your own maps and stuff on it, and there is a demo for that as well. Robo Beat looks kind of like
That looks crazy.
Neon White in my mind, like with the freneticness. Exoside, which I don't remember this one, I don't believe, but it's also a first-person shooter.
It looks like OG, like Quake,
Yeah.
Doomy kind of. Not Doom, more so Quake.
Then there's also The Engineer, spelled really weird. And you're building bridges for like cars to go over and stuff, so that's pretty fun. Enchanted, I don't remember that one, so I can't give any thoughts. There's like a mall building, like roller coaster tycoon game. Scorchlands, which looks interesting. I'm not too sure what the gameplay looks like because it kind of looks like a Clash of Clans situation, but you're also moving around at the same time. So I don't know. I'm gonna skip over a decent bit more of these and just go to the ones that I remember that were good.
They're making another Alien
That was the
Hominid.
one I was going through next. Alien Hominid Invasion looks fun. It's 4-player, I think, co-op, I believe. But we also got Brotato, which is a Binding of Isaac looking game, and it looks fucking phenomenal.
It looks like fucking what was that game? Enter the Gungeon.
100%. Spirit of the Samurai looks fucking
That looks
dope.
good.
That one I believe was supposed to have a demo, but I'm wrong. Rekka, which this one kind of looks like a like build your own area situation, like kind of like a Valheim, build your own like base and then go out into the world and see all the cool shit. There's like houses on legs and shit. Let me see if there's any others that I was like, these are stand out.
The Precinct looks interesting. It looks like kind of OG, reminiscent of OG Grand Theft Auto, top down cars, crime type
Hell yeah.
shit.
I think the last one I'm going to talk about from this was the last game, Unrooted. This one looks cool as shit. I love the art style of it. It's very reminiscent of Hollow Knight in my mind. Platformer, psychological horror. So check those out over on the link in our Discord, Steam Curator OTK Network. It's a little bit up, but you can find it, and there's a lot of good indies in there. So definitely go check those out. One of them even being Toxic Crusaders, which is coming out. So that one looks really cool.
That's insane that that's coming out.
And it looks exactly like TMNT Shredder's Revenge. So that's neat. All right, I think we're at the things now. The the Johns.
Yeah,
Do you want to start with
it is
Capcom?
time. Sure.
I'm
why
gonna let
not?
you just take this away because I didn't watch it at all. I missed it, sadly.
All right, hold on. Let me go back to our chat. Bam. Trust me, you saw the Capcom event without seeing the Capcom event. Real quick, they showed a deeper dive into Dragon's Dogma 2. The game Pragmata. I don't know if you remember this. It was a demo with this little girl. I don't know really how to explain it more than that. She clearly has some kind of powers. You would know what I'm talking about if you saw it, but they said it has been delayed indefinitely.
What?
Yeah, but they had a full-blown like extra trailer, like with more shit in it. Capcom revealed during today's showcase that this was the first we've heard of the game since 2021, but we still haven't seen much of Capcom's upcoming action adventure, Pragmata. To be fair, though, it was one of the most charming delay announcements we've ever seen, as news of the delay, along with an apology, was scribbled on a piece of paper within the trailer.
I want to skip Capcom entirely just for that fuckery.
Whatever like this game is going to be, it looks really interesting, but now there's just no news about when it's happening. And with the role that Capcom's been on, I'm like, all right, a brand new IP. You never know what this could turn into. But yeah, we don't know. Who knows?
That's crazy. We gotta play Exoprimal, yo. We gotta pick a day, just randomly a day in the week, and just be like, this is the day we're Exoprimal in.
You're right, and we will.
Hell yeah.
The little note within the trailer has it's a white piece of paper with a little sad face at the bottom right. It says 2022, but it's crossed out. Then there's an arrow pointing 2023, but that's scribbled out. Then there's an arrow, and this is a question mark. And under it just says, very sorry, sad face.
Fuck that. That's some bullshit.
It's so crazy. And at the end, they have an actual, like, those Twitter apologies. To all our expectant fans, it is with a very heavy heart that we must further postpone the shit. Right. I lost it. An ad came on when I was reading that. They're sorry. Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
What else did we get besides that fuckery? Because
Apollo Justice and Ace Attorney trilogy. So the old Ace Attorney games, the trilogy is coming in 2024. Okay. So HD remaster. If you're into those, it looks pretty good. Exoprimal gets a new trailer, a roadmap, and a battle pass revealed. We're just over a month away from Exoprimal's release on July 14th. I thought this game was already out. I guess what we had was just like the demo.
It might be. I think it's early access because I'm gonna check the Xbox app literally right now.
All right. And Capcom shared a new trailer for the Dino Hunting game ahead of launch. Capcom also showed a roadmap and battle pass for the live service elements of the game. We also get a deep dive on the story, a look at the new map featuring a space elevator, and more. Finally, a second open beta test is happening from June 16th to the 18th this weekend.
All right. Maybe we got to play this weekend. I don't know if I have planned. All right, no, never mind. I do. Shit.
This weekend's kind of hard. Yeah. Adrian's birthday is Friday, and then Father's Day is Sunday.
That is true. Shit.
The game previously announced Ghost Trick. They put out a demo, so a demo is available now, and it is out June 30th on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So everything pretty much. Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess trailer. This trailer was also shown at the Xbox showcase. It was the only Capcom thing at the Xbox showcase. They just showed the trailer again here because it's a Capcom game. Mega Man X Dive Offline coming to Steam, iOS, and Android. A new mobile and PC Mega Man game was shown off during today's showcase. It's called Mega Man X Dive Offline, and it's coming sometime this year. You play as Mega Man X and the other characters from the franchise, including characters that have never been playable before and characters that are brand new to the franchise. Familiar bosses and over 900 stages are playable. There's 900 stages because it's already a mobile game, a gotcha game that just nickel and dimes you with a bunch of
Microtransactions.
why is the term escaping? Thank you, microtransactions, and they're just making an offline version of that.
Yikes.
So, of course, this comes on. I'm like, oh, and then I saw that, and I was like, wow, that is the biggest fuck you to me I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Can we get an actual Mega Man X
No,
game?
it's not allowed because iOS exists.
What the fuck? I don't want that shit. They showed more of RE4 VR. They showed some Street Fighter 6 shit, and the game's already out. That was the end. Like, that's it.
Well,
You missed nothing.
Shane Lee said,
Oh, and they showed oh no, I already said that. Extra Primal. Yeah, so yeah. You already know everything.
I think Capcom lost the weekend. I'm gonna go into Devolver next, I think, because I think Devolver not necessarily did worse, but they weren't as high as I expected for this one.
Yeah, we usually like.
There's a couple
Devolver.
interesting games though that I'm looking to play. First one that they showed off from the Ape Out creators, they announced a game called Baby Steps, which is a literal walking simulator.
What?
Baby Steps is a new game from Gabe Cuzillo, Ape Out's Maxi Bach, and Quap's Bennett Foddy. And it stars Nate, a 35-year-old fail son who lives in his parents' basement and hasn't done much with his life. That all changed when one day he gets transported to another world and he learns he can walk and put on one foot in front of the other. So, that's a thing. It's a
What?
literal walking simulator with fully dynamic onesie soilage system. That's a quote.
Such a Devolver thing.
Will be exclusively on PS5 and PC in 2024. After that, we had Human Fall Flat 2, which was just being under construction. So it's a new game coming in the franchise. The first one was released in 2016, so this one is on its way out after that. No release date or anything like that, but it did show, a bunch of quirky stuff that can happen in those games that, are always a thing. If you know Human Fall Flat or Gang Beasts or what was the other one, the Animal one that's in a different showcase this week, they're all pretty much the same game, but they're fun.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah. Next up, Talos Principle 2. Got a more look at that. I don't believe there was anything worth a damn, if I'm being honest with you, because I don't really like the look of it. It's like a puzzle-looking game that kind of has portals, but it's kind of ominous at the same time. But I'll read the little blurb thing. Talos Principle 2 was first announced at the latest PlayStation Showcase, and Summer Games Fest fans gave a new look at the sequel from the original that came out in 2014. So yeah, just a big mind-bending puzzle game situation. That's about it. Next up, Wizard with a Gun. This one looks cool as shit.
It looks like it reminds me of Bastion.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's kind of just like a shooter.
Top-down isometric. If you're familiar with Bastion, you know what you're getting yourself into. You're literally a wizard with a gun. It's like a action RPG-esque. Looks pretty cool. Art's pretty cool. Ain't a little cartoon they play, and the intro's pretty cool. So looks like it's a great like Steam Deck.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It is going to be released on PC, and a single player demo is available currently. So definitely go check that out.
Well, I gotta go look up.
I don't know what launcher it's on, because normally they say Steam with that, but that was Devolver.
Oh yeah, that was it.
They had a lot of their usual stuff where like it's the robot on the stage, and that was kind of quirky a lot of the time, but it wasn't much from Devolver. It was just kind of here's some cool stuff. It's cool, but we don't have much, and that's fine in my mind at least. Where do you think we go after this? Day of the Devs, probably, right?
Sure.
Day of the Devs had one game that I specifically want to talk about, and I don't know where it's at, but we'll get to it eventually. But yeah, you want to go back and forth on this one because I think there's a decent bit of these. Unless you want to skip a couple.
All right. I don't I know this was on while we were in like setting
Yeah.
up for other shit, right? This is that one.
How about
Okay.
this? I think we need to talk about one game from this because we saw one game collectively together, and then there was another game.
Mhm.
So I'll talk about that one first, and then we'll talk about the other one. Where is it at? Shit. Where are you at? There you are. Hellscape.
Viewfinder. Oh.
But that's the other one I was talking about. Do you want to talk about Viewfinder first? Go for it.
Sad Owl Studios Viewfinder. Viewfinder has been shown off a number of times in the past and previously won Europlay 2021, the Eurovision of video games, but it's finally nearing release. The game is a unique puzzle adventure in which players can hold up photographs in front of them, which in turn form a part of the environment. A PS5 demo is available to download today, and the game will be released next
I will
month.
be playing that for next week, I believe. I will be definitely be playing that demo so that I can talk about it next week for sure.
Well, it's available now. I had no idea that was available right now.
But the other one that was kind of a standout, at least for me, was Hellscape from Phantom Ghost that is going to be early access in early 2024.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny to me because, no offense to whoever wrote this, I think this is Video Game Chronicle.
Chronicle, yeah.
They wrote clearly designed with the Tony Hawk games in mind, which is accurate, but it's not as accurate as it could be because this is actually from the devs who worked on Tony Hawk Underground, one of my favorite Tony Hawk games because it felt more like an RPG. You were yourself. There was a story. You had to make yourself through the world. It was kind of open world, semi-open world slightly. But they were talking about, the devs on the thing, is that what they wanted Tony Hawk Underground to be is what this is. It's a skateboarding action roguelite where you can do tricks, chain combos, and power up your attacks through the whole entire world. You can update your skateboard, your weapons, your outfit. There's much more to this, and it looks fucking phenomenal.
It did. I got it. It looked really good.
This looks like Tony Hawk, but like, no offense to that game, but fun. Like, that's like a sim game in my mind. Like, it's still like a fun game. I'm not gonna lie. I love playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater or Underground or whatever. But this looks like it takes the model that's on and amps it up to something completely different that I'm looking forward to having immediately when it comes out. So this was my standout.
It looks like a really good time.
But yeah, all the other games that were shown look good from the screen grabs that are here that were captured, but obviously we were trying to set up for something so we didn't get a big look at it. So go check out the link in the Discord and you can see what was posted in the Day of the Devs.
Yes, sir.
And then we got Ubisoft, Xbox, and Summer Games Fest left. And we're at an hour 30 minutes.
All right, that's cool. We can, if we go at the pace that we were just going at, we can.
Ubisoft first.
Yeah, we can do Ubisoft.
Take it away. Start us off with what Ubisoft. I'm interested in.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. It has been a long time since Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora was first revealed, and at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase, the game reemerged to reveal an action-packed look at its gameplay. Avatar director, the creator James Cameron, also made an appearance to hype up the game, talking about new environments that can be explored, and the story that will coexist with the events of the Avatar films. The big news here was the release date of the game, as Ubisoft will launch Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora on December 7th. This year has too many games in it.
I agree entirely.
It did look well done.
I like it.
I like what I saw. I just want to see. I don't know how to put this. It feels like it's doing a whole lot, and I just want to make sure it can pull off all of these things without compromising the other things. Like, I don't want it to be one of those games that has everything but doesn't execute well enough on each thing.
I feel that.
It's a third-person RPG. It's a first-person shooter. It's like an open world. I'm like, okay, Like, make sure y'all can do all
feel
of this
that.
shit. That's a lot. That's very
Yeah.
ambitious. They have the money. It's a big
Yeah.
property. So it's like, okay, I see the vision. I just want
It's
you to
also
follow through.
funded by
That's all.
Disney now, so it's like it's just a money pit they can just dig
Oh, yeah.
themselves into. I like what the article here says, that it looked like Far Cry like gameplay. I was thinking that it looked more
Yeah.
like Cyberpunk in my mind, just because of the way that it
Mhm.
goes from the first person to the third person stuff. Because at least with
Right.
Cyberpunk, when you're on like a motorcycle, you go into third person, and like it looked exactly like that to me. Like it looked like I was on the whatever the fucking flying thing's called in this world, and it looked like I was riding like a motorcycle in Cyberpunk for a moment, and then I could use
Yeah.
my third person rifle if I wanted to just click and shoot something. But and then the first person looked seamless as shit. Like it was fucking amazing looking when it switched back and forth
It was.
between the bow and arrow to the assault rifle, and there was like that scene where she slid up
Mhm.
underneath one of the robots and shot it. Oh, dude, it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It all looks dope.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next up,
Yeah,
X
man.
Defiant. After testing its high-octane PvP shooter in a closed beta session, Ubisoft is planning to push the limits on the game with another open beta stress test from June 21st to 23rd that's open to everybody. So I'm going to play this because it looks
all right.
good.
Yeah, this is definitely a Chris game.
It looks like a nice alternative to something like a Call of Duty or an Overwatch, which I'm looking for. So hopefully it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like it's gonna have 5 factions, which I guess are like the teams in the game. 5 modes,
Yeah.
14 maps, and 24 total weapons. And then there will be more added of all 3 of those things with a DLC and I assume a battle pass, because every single game that has a gun in it needs a battle pass now. So
Of course.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. June 21st is that beta. I'm probably gonna try and get in on that. But the next one here is all you.
Oh yeah. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. After a debut at Summer Games Fest this month, Ubisoft shared more details on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This return to the 2D roots of the franchise has several hallmarks of the classic and modern games, as it mixes brutal combos with platforming sections that require precise control to navigate across. That just sounds like everything I look forward to. We also get a closer look at the return of the time manipulating powers, which can once again be used across the game. The twist here is that the Prince Sargon isn't the only person who can use these abilities, as other foes can also wield these abilities against you. This game looks like so much fun. Another perfect like Steam
Hell yeah.
Deck game. Side scrolling, air dashing, boss fights,
Oh
weapon.
my.
It's everything I look forward
I
to
feel
in a
that.
game.
The one boss looked dope to me. I forget what it was. It was the. You remember that Pixar movie that came out with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland as brothers? Onward.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
Remember
Oh yeah,
the
Onward.
fucking
Yeah.
the restaurant they went to, and that lady had the scorpion tail lion thing with wings?
Yeah.
That was in one of the boss
Mhm.
fights, and I was like, that's fucking sick. That was like the one thing that I was like, I need to get to that for sure. So I'm gonna play this game, I think, even though I'm not good at them. So,
It looks like a lot of fun.
next up, The Division Resurgence. It's gearing up for launch soon, and it's going to be free to play, apparently. Ubisoft debuted a new CG trailer. Like the main Division game, the trailer for the mobile spin-off revealed plenty of action, exotic gadgets, and tense missions against other players in quarantine dark zones. So that's coming to your mobile fucking
Oh,
phones.
this is just the one you were like,
Yep,
did
the thing where it was a really hyper animated, really realistic, well done animated cinematic trailer.
Mhm. I thought
Yeah.
it was a sequel.
I
was like,
also
oh shit.
did, until then immediately we were greeted by the 5-inch screen of a cell phone holding the gameplay on it. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, it's free to play, so like I can't be mad at it. There's no reason to be, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I think we need to let mobile gaming go. Not in a way where it's like get rid of it entirely, but like it's not something that belongs on these types of shows, in my opinion. Like,
They gotta include it.
I feel like they should have their own show for mobile games, like entirely.
But then every company would have a mobile game show.
No, I mean
They
just
wouldn't put it
one
all in
mobile
one,
game
like-
show. Kind of like Keeley is just like, here's Mobile Game Fest or some shit, and it's just mobile
Oh,
games.
okay, I
That's
got you.
it.
I got you.
And everybody can be a part of it.
Mobile Game Fest.
That's what I prefer. Obviously, that's just me, but it's all good. Next up, we got a musical performance.
Skull and Bones. While Skull and Bones is still far off from its initial release date, a new closed beta for Ubisoft's pirate adventure game. Yeah, the closed beta will be held from August 25th through the 28th, and registrations are now open. I did not remember that part from the show. I just remembered there was a musical performance.
Skull.
And I think what was my comment in the fucking
I have no
Discord? I said something. This game can do
Except come
everything
out, yeah.
but release. Yeah. This game has been talked about for 5 years. Like what?
Still ain't coming. Ain't coming at all. Speaking of not coming, the Crew Motorfest. That's a thing. I don't care. We're moving on.
Cars go.
I'm not even
fast
talking
and
about it. 'Cause
look
I'm going to talk about the
nice.
next thing. Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. This was kind of a weird part of the show because
It was. That dude was weird, but he's dope though.
that dude being Adi Shankar. If you guys don't know who he is,
Mhm.
he's made multiple things that are very, very cool, including the live action Power Rangers Gritty remake that's on YouTube. That I don't know if he got a cease and desist for it, but it was something along those lines. But 2 years after Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon anime spinoff was first announced, this has been debuted, and it's going to be filled with Ubisoft Easter eggs. And it's made from the same people that did Castlevania. And it's going to be on Netflix.
So you gotta watch it.
There's that. I don't
Mhm.
know what this show is at all. And I think that's the point.
Me neither.
So, we're looking
Yeah.
forward to it, though. Next.
They did their job. They showed and said enough to where, like, well, I'm at least
For sure.
interested.
When she said Castlevania, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I hope everybody's ready to get their Assassin's Creed on because
I've been
there's a
doing
lot
it
of
for a
it.
week.
True. Assassin's Creed Nexus. Ubisoft first teased its Assassin's Creed virtual reality game at the Meta Showcase, but at its dedicated event, it showed off a slick, pre-rendered CG trailer of the tone and direction that it's aiming for. The big takeaway here is that you won't just play as one assassin from the series, but 3 of them. Ezio, Connor, and Cassandra will all be playable protagonists, and you'll be able to take control of them across their respective time periods when it releases during the 2023 holiday season for MetaQuest 3 and 2 VR
might get
headsets.
Yeah.
It looks pretty
I've
cool as far as VR games go.
It's funny because I only know Connor of the 3, and it's because it was my favorite one. I've
Mhm.
never played with a game of Ezio, and I think that's the Spartan one. Cassandra?
Isn't Ezio like the first one?
I don't know.
Oh, and you talk about Cassandra. Yeah,
Spartan,
I
right?
think she's.
Yeah, I've never played Ezio or
Yeah.
Cassandra, so while I'm going to end up playing those missions if I get the game, because obviously I'm definitely more so into
Mm-hmm.
the Connor part. Because I remember when I was watching the trailer, and the first one they show is Connor, and all I see is his tomahawk,
Mm-hmm.
which is the assassin's logo on a tomahawk, and I'm like, I fucking know what that is, dude. I'm playing that game right now. And I fucking loved it. Speaking of
Dope.
loving it,
That's
next up,
fire.
we got 2 more Assassin's Creeds. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Just a few months left to go before it launches in October. A new trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage was revealed. More of Basim's story and his induction to the Hidden Ones. It was just some cool gameplay. It looks like Assassin's Creed. That's it. I didn't see anything
Yeah.
new that was shocking. No offense to them, but I feel like Ubisoft's like rendering is still stuck in like PS3 era. Like while like the textures and stuff look great, like the modeling and like the way that it looks, like overall, looks like a
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 game. Like, it doesn't look like how Spider-Man looked with its remaster. You know what I mean? Like how they could be
Mhm.
real people. Like, these are like, that's a video game person. That looks like it's from Skyrim, you
Right.
know? So,
Right.
there's that.
This is the new
This
one
is
though,
the new
right?
one, yeah. And then they teased this
Yeah.
other one down below
The AAA one.
with
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Jade.
Assassin's Creed Jade. Between back to basics entries and the exciting prospect of the first person Assassin's Creed action and virtual reality, Ubisoft also managed to squeeze in a quick reveal for Assassin's Creed Jade. This mobile will be free to play and follows a traditional Assassin's Creed style of gameplay. Set in ancient China, registrations for the closed beta on the game's official website are now
Cool.
open.
Now let's talk about the real story here.
Yes.
Star Wars Outlaws. This game looks very cool, but also it looks like a type of game that I'm not a huge fan of. So I'll have to force myself to play through it. But Star Wars Outlaws is Ubisoft's open world game set in a galaxy far away, arrived in grand fashion. As an extended gameplay trailer for Star Wars Outlaws had plenty to show off. Set in the outer rim of Star Wars, Outlaws puts you in the boots of Kay Vess, an opportunistic thief who becomes the most wanted outlaw in the galaxy and has to pull off the greatest heist of all time if she wants to escape the Galactic Empire and its Imperial Army. So in the demo, what we saw was the third-person action. There's high-speed chases and even some space combat. One of the things that was dope about it is that it's open world. And not only open world, open galaxy. So while there's not the entire galaxy of planets that you can go to, the specific ones that are, you could be in the middle of a dogfight with a couple of TIE fighters, find an opening, and jump to light speed immediately if you wanted to. And that's fucking sick.
That the opera, like it just again, they just gotta stick the landing, but it sounds and looked really good.
I will say the shooting, I did not love the look of. It was very much reminiscent of The Last of Us or Uncharted or Gears, where you have to stay behind a target, like a little barricade, and then peek over and shoot. And no offense to whoever played the demo, but they couldn't shoot for shit. And they were missing a lot of shots. So I was like, it was kind of a little cringe, to say the least. Like, why would you want to make the look the best? But whatever. Either way, I thought it was really cool looking. I'm not really a big fan of those type of shooters, but I'll play it because it's Star Wars, and it looks like another good game where we're gonna get like a main protagonist that's just cool, kind of like Cal. So yeah,
I think what they kind of hit a chord where it's just like they made a game that will appeal to the average gamer. Because, I mean, all jokes aside, I'm not Star Wars guy, but watching this, I was like, I want to play this game because it looks like a good video game.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we got the Xbox showcase. We're getting close to that big boy, the Summer Games Fest. They started off with Fable. I didn't really know what this was, to be honest with you. According to the description here, it had IT Crowd's Richard Ayoade playing the starring role.
I noticed him immediately.
I don't know who he is because I've never watched the show.
Me neither, but I just know of the show.
But he had some cheeky humor, apparently. We don't know when the game's coming out, but Xbox did confirm it's coming to Game Pass day one. So, yeah.
Thanks, Xbox, for letting us know a game that you announced years ago is still coming.
Still coming.
I mean, they got a trailer this time, so a real trailer. The other one was like a teaser.
I mean,
what is like a teaser too? There's been no gameplay yet. Yeah, like there's no gameplay. So dope. Where the fuck is Perfect Dark? Next
up.
Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty gets a trailer and a release date. Phantom Liberty, the big Cyberpunk 2077 story expansion, is coming on September 26th. Jesus, year. We also got a big trailer for the game showing off the return of Keanu Reeves and the introduction of Idris Elba. Phantom Liberty's missions will take players to an entirely new area of Night City.
It looks
This looks
amazing,
fine.
and apparently there was a tweet thread that I found, and apparently this game is like redone from the top down. Like it's completely new.
I saw that same tweet.
I
Or
might
did you
have,
send it
but
to
I
me?
don't
I
know.
saw it though.
And I am so excited for this. I was gonna do my last and final playthrough where I'm the people from out in the desert, the nomads. I was gonna start it,
Mhm.
but now I don't want to start it until the DLC comes out. Because if the game's completely different in the way that it is, and like with the minor details that they were talking about, like the clothing options and your armor and shit, I'm so
Mhm.
down to play that game fully again with that new setup. So I'm looking forward.
I can't lie. I was watching it and it made me want to like, okay, I kind of want to.
It's worth it, man. It's a great fucking game. The story is phenomenal. Gameplay is good, but I'm sure it will be better with what the updates that they did are. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Next up, Avowed is coming in 2024. Obsidian's long-awaited fantasy RPG, Avowed, finally has a release window for next year. Our big look at the game showed caves, spiders, bears, oh my, spellcasting, sword combat, and a ton of other fantasy elements. Coming on Game Pass sometime in 2024.
Sometime. Let me see. A 1 terabyte Xbox Series S is coming September 1st. Xbox head Phil Spencer revealed the new 1 terabyte Xbox Series S, which comes in black and is launching on September 1st. Spencer said Xbox is responding to complaints that the Series S didn't have enough storage with this new model. It will retail at $349, which is $50 more than the 512 gigabyte Xbox Series S. Okay. I mean, you want a little middle ground Xbox. If you want an Xbox Series S Pro,
boom,
bam.
Next up, I
There
guess
it
we'll
is.
truncate what our thoughts were, but Starfield gets a new trailer ahead of the direct. The direct did happen. I feel like I'm in danger because that game looks phenomenal, and I'm gonna put so much time into it. It's like No Man's Sky on crack.
Yeah. Yes. It is super steroided up.
There's
No
not
Man's
much
Sky.
I can say about it besides that. So that's it. All I'm saying is that it looks like Starfield is gonna be it for Xbox. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is where all their money
100%.
is. They're like double, tripling, quadrupling down on Starfield
Yeah.
for the year.
I don't even know what this next thing is.
Compulsion Games is South of Midnight revealed. We Happy Few developer Compulsion Games revealed its next project, South of Midnight. The game is coming to Xbox Series X and S on Game Pass as well as PC via Steam. The teaser trailer for the game showed a mysterious character playing a guitar on a river, while the main character, Hazel, is looking for a monster with teeth like knives. Yeah, so they showed this. No release date.
Cool.
Teaser trailer.
Nice.
See in the
it's time to
chat.
skip through a couple because Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws was coming and that happened afterwards. Forza Motorsport is the thing I don't care about. And then Clockwork Revolution. The main show ended with Clockwork Revolution, a new game from InXile. I guess that's how you say it. In due time, it appears to be a first-person shooter with a in
exile.
That makes more sense. What did I say originally? InXile or something like that. InXile.
InXile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
But it bears to be a first-person shooter with steampunk theme. There were a few hints of time manipulation mechanics, and it's coming to Game Pass on day one.
This didn't look bad. I just since it's like a kind of teaser, I want to know more about it.
A lot of these are like not that great. Like they're like okay.
Metaphor Fantasio is coming, and I would be with you like, what the hell is this? Let's skip it. But it's from the people who brought you Persona. So if you're into like especially Persona 5, which was huge, this looks like something you need to be keeping your eyes on. Says the game looks to retain a lot of Persona style, but with a totally new world. It's coming sometime in 2024.
Hell yeah. After that, we got a game called from Spiritfarer Studio, a co-op action game. The studio behind Spiritfarer revealed a new raid-focused action game called 33 Immortals. Top-down action game maintains gorgeous hand-drawn visuals of Spiritfarer, and the game supports up to 33 players at once.
That's
Yeah.
insanity.
I remember I saw a clip of someone reacting to this live, the Xbox showcase, and they were like, "Oh, it's co-op."
Was it kind of funny?
Maybe. I don't know. The guy fell out of his seat or some shit.
I think
Yeah.
if it was, I saw that
But
same clip. Yeah.
he was like, it's co-op, maybe like 4 people. Oh, maybe like 8, 33. So that's a number.
It's craziness.
Speaking of 3, what's up next?
Payday 3 gameplay and release date revealed. We got a brand new look at Payday 3 gameplay, showing all the bang heist antics you would expect. We saw a car chase, rooftop gunfights, and plenty of tools and contraptions to help players get their payday. The game is coming to Game Pass on Xbox Series X and S on September 21st.
I wonder how much it's going to be on PC, or if it will be.
I
They're
never
fun.
played a
They're
Payday
good
before.
time with friends.
I heard they were.
Next up,
yeah.
Persona 3 Reload. It was officially released. I don't really know what that is, so I'm just going to the next one. Oh, wait. Persona 5 Tactical.
HD remake.
So many fucking Personas. I don't know anything about them, so I can't comment about them.
Persona 3 Reload is just a HD remake of Persona 3. At least that's what I think it is. They already had leaks prior to the show. It brings Persona 3 in line with Persona 5 from a gameplay and visual standpoint. So, beefed up Persona 3. Persona 5 Tactica is just a tactics Persona game in the Persona 5 world.
That's dumb.
So, the game is a Fire Emblem style tactics take on the world of Persona 5.
Cool. I feel like the rest of these are just like not that important.
People, real quick, Sea of Thieves gets a Monkey Island crossover. Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming back with a brand new game.
Dune crossover.
Hellblade 2 is coming next year.
That's a
Dune
crossover with Microsoft.
Oh, I thought it was just a brand new.
It is, but it also has the Dune crossover. It's like the little dragonfly John from the movie.
Yeah, I got you. Well, you got that to look forward to. For people who want to simulate some flights next year. Meow. I don't know why I did that. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is coming next year. We saw some of this game. There's another one. This seems like this will be Xbox's like 2024 banger, because they've been hyping this up for a while, and the first one has like a cult classic for Xbox. So more of that coming. It looks amazing. That's one thing I can say about it. Graphically, it looks amazing. It says we finally have a release window for Hellblade 2, which is coming next year on Xbox Series X, S, and PC, plus a brand new trailer for the sequel, which once again showcased the impressive next-gen visuals.
Next up after that, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth revealed for 2024. Yakuza Like a Dragon follow-up called Infinite Wealth. We see the main character Ichiban wash up on the shore of Hawaii fully nude. Cool. I don't like Yakuza games after I've just found that out. And then New Jersey is coming to Fallout 76,
this one might be
Atlantic
different.
City. Whoop-de-doo! Next up. Take away this one. This one looks neat.
Capcom reveals Path of the Goddess. Capcom revealed a brand new game called Path of the Goddess, an action-focused game with horror themes. Very hack and slashy. Very fast-paced.
You gotta get high while you play this game, bro. The pretty colors.
Yeah, the imagery. Yeah, imagery will do it to you. But it looks cool. Capcom, like I keep saying, has been on a roll. They new IP from them. Looks interesting. Looks fun. very heavy on the art style, very heavy on the hack and slash, a lot of magic. Seems like like
Kinda,
samurai
yeah.
times. Looks dope.
Yeah.
It looks like a Witcher game.
What?
In the same kind of setting as
Ghost of Tsushima.
your Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima. That type of
Kinda.
setting.
This next one I do not remember. I feel like we gotta take a second to say IGN makes terrible lists. Because a lot of these games at the end here, like I kind of just want to speed run the last 4 of these and just get to the Summer Games Fest.
We can do that because the last of these games,
like
is just
IGN needs to
kinda
get their
like,
shit together. Banner Saga creators reveal Towerborn. Towerborn is coming from the creators of Banner Saga trilogy. It's a co-op adventure in an ever-changing world. 2024. Still Wakes the Deep short teaser trailer. Showed a short teaser trailer about exploring an abandoned oil rig. Game is coming to Game Pass on day 1 next year. What is this one? This one I feel like I remember.
Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Oh, I
don't even
remember this one. I like the look of this one. I like the style and shit. You're exploring all over the place, kind of like skating around and shit. So that seems to be a common theme that's coming back in games of like skating, and then it also looks like Hades at certain points as well. Like it goes from being like a third person over the shoulder fighter, like Final Fantasy 7 or 16, and then it'll go isometric.
Oh wait, yeah, I do remember this.
I like
now.
the look of this one.
I remember this.
I'm just gonna do the last like 3 because these are dumb. Elder Scrolls Online Necrom is a DLC that's coming. Cool. City Skylines 2 is coming. Make skylines and stuff. And then climbing game called Jusan.
Rated
everyone and super loud. That sure is a game. It's like Death Stranding but climbing. So
yeah, I saw this, and at first I was like, "Is this Xbox's Breath
bit.
of the Wild?" Until I realized it's just all climbing. I was like, "Well, no, it's not." I don't know what
it's
this
just
is.
the only climbing expansion of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But now we're
You
on
wanna
to our
climb
final
more?
showcase, the one that started it all. There's a lot of repeats in this one, which is nice because then we can
Summer.
end quicker.
Yeah,
And
we
I
can get
need
right
to
through
go
it.
to the bathroom badly. So
All right. Well, boom.
Yeah.
We'll already skip the first one. It's Prince of Persia. Mortal Kombat 1. They showed gameplay. It looks
Phenomenal.
amazing. Bringing back a lot of classic outfits from the original characters. They show some fatalities. They fast paced tag team fighting. It looks super dope. This is where they pretty much world premiered the gameplay, so it was dope to watch. Still on track to release September 19th, 2023.
hell yeah. Path of
what else?
Exile.
Let me see. Path of Exile. What the
I
hell
do
is
not
this?
remember.
This is like it
Yeah,
reminded me of Diablo.
very much a Diablo clone.
Diablo action top down.
Yo, this
Action
next
game,
one
pretty
I did not expect. This is one of the ones where
I didn't know. I'm like metal.
the craziest
Ryu
part
and
about
Street
this
Fighter?
is the fact that we just found out in this same episode that Exoprimal isn't out yet, and they're already doing a Exoprimal X Street Fighter 6 collab. So pretty much we're getting a bunch of the characters from Street Fighter imported into Exoprimal, looking like metal versions of themselves, kind of like Robot Omnic type shit. But we're gonna play Exoprimal when that comes out because that'll be fun.
Yeah, we've been talking about it too much. To not play
Next
it.
up, big one, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. This was a little. It was a fun time in the show.
It was very goofy. Just because he was kind of just talking about very actory shit, like how fulfilling it is to be in a new media form and shit. And it was cool because you could tell that he was genuinely excited. But I'm also like, why is this the game that you were genuinely excited about being in? No offense to Dead by Daylight by any means. It's just why?
Oh, I heard about this. Dead by Daylight, his kid. Well, yeah, his kid plays it a lot, so he wanted to be in a game.
That's cool. Then I like that, but I'm also like, maybe be in a different game, please.
Like, what else does your kid play?
I want a triple
Yes,
A
way more
game
than that,
where
right?
Nicolas Cage is like the antagonist. Yeah,
That'd be funny.
Witcher season
Yeah.
3, volume 3, volume 1. What I don't. Too many fucking volumes and shit.
With The Witcher
Season
3
Volume
season
1.
3
Yeah.
volume 1
Um,
trailer. Netflix's Witcher 3 season 3. I
I
thought it
don't
was
know.
just The Witcher.
I,
Why are they saying The Witcher
great
3?
question. I don't know.
They made that
It's
mistake
dumb
twice.
for
Sorry.
sure.
My
I'm
bad.
also like in the mindset of like I don't think I care about the show anymore because after this season, Henry Cavill's no longer in it, and in my mind, it's going to be too jarring of a change. Like from Henry Cavill to the whatever Hemsworth brother it is, and I might just skip out on it. I don't know, but
Mhm.
after that, this is a moment where my arm was gripped with intensity. Sonic.
What? Man, listen.
You were
I was
not.
not informed. I keep saying this. This did not come across my desk. Sega is putting out Sonic Superstars, a new Sonic the Hedgehog game, a new 2D Sonic the Hedgehog game that leans into the classic style from its original title, but with a modern touch. Where you can play as Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy. It really is just classic Sonic, just
Running around at the speed of
HD'd up.
sound.
They've done this before. I'm hoping they learn their lesson because they came out with Sonic 4 around Xbox 360 time, and it was not a great Sonic game. They went back to 2D and everything, and it was like it felt cheap. It felt like they put the name Sonic 4 on it, but like you just played through a bunch of old stages, just like in a modern way, and it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like it didn't have like the physics of classic Sonic. So it's like if you do this, you have to make it reminiscent of like the Genesis style Sonic games. Which is why I wish they would have just made Sonic Mania 2. Like I don't know why they're not making that. That was the most successful Sonic game like in the last decade. I don't know if Sonic Frontiers beat that. I don't think it did. But Sonic Mania was like praised. It was like the best reviewed and selling Sonic game in a long time. I don't know why they won't.
I don't
make
know,
a
but this
sequel
one
to
looked good. I like the look of this.
Weird to me.
I like the way you can switch
Then-
back and forth too.
it does look
like,
good.
between styles. It seems like you can go back between the
Yeah.
2.5D and just straight up 2D pixel art. And then what was the one character at the end that like almost was teased in 3D and then they didn't do it? Nah.
Knack, for people who don't know, he originated in a Game Gear Sonic game, which is a throwback Sega handheld console. He was in Sonic Triple Trouble, which was a game that came out on that handheld. So they brought him back for this. So he's a deep cut. Like I'm sure kids are seeing that now and be like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" Yeah, Knack was around in like 1991. It's a weird odd choice to bring back, but for people like me who were there, it's just like, oh shit, look at that.
There's only one
That guy's
Knack in
back.
my heart. Knack 2, baby.
Nah, of course, that Knack.
Next
Knack
up,
2,
we had some
baby.
bullshit stuff. Honkai Star Rail. I don't care about these games.
They do this every showcase.
And I think this isn't even the only one. There's more that we're about to talk about lower down. But like it's a Genshin Impact reskin to look different, like theme wise, but it's the exact same fucking game. And here's the thing: it has its audience, it's fine, but all it is a gacha game. That's all it is. It's just a gacha game.
This doesn't look like. Well, never mind. I was about to say it doesn't look like a.
Genshin.
Fuck. I'm dying tonight.
Well, to be fair,
my memory is
Genshin
my brain is
doesn't
upstairs
look like
asleep.
a game that's a gacha game either until you get into it, and they're constantly saying spend money so you get this character. You got to spend money. You got to roll for this character. It's a fucking slope.
I just mean like gameplay wise, because wasn't Genshin the one they said
Yeah.
was like Breath of the Wild at first
Yeah,
until
100%.
you get into it? This looks like some. I don't know what this looks like. It doesn't look like it plays like that,
Eh,
but it does look like just an MMO, like a giant RPG. But you also have to, like you
Yeah,
said, spend money
so-
to get further.
Personally, I
Blah,
won't
blah,
be
blah,
touching
blah,
it. I'm also going to do this next one as well, Lies of P.
Neither will
I played the demo. It was saying that it's coming out September 19th. The demo is available. Go play the demo. It's okay. Next up, kind of a shock reveal in a way that none of us knew about it.
I'm interested in this. Sandland. A gorgeous new trailer for Sandland was shown, offering a taste of gameplay. The game comes from the mind of Akira Toriyama and looks a lot like Dragon Quest. It looks like a dope little RPG. It looks fun. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a brand new IP. Looks kind of open world RPG esque. I don't know. It looks good. Bandai Namco is making it. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. We didn't get a
All
date.
right. I'm gonna skip this next one because I didn't think this looked worth talking about because it's from Amazon Games.
I remember.
I'm just gonna say the title
no.
"Throne and Liberty" was revealed from Amazon Games. I don't think it looks anything special, and it's kind of sad that it took Amazon Games this long to put something like this out, in my opinion. Next up was Alan Wake 2. We got more gameplay footage, which was not more gameplay footage. Because they showed us gameplay,
Wasn't.
but all that gameplay was bits from the original trailer we saw, just put together. And with the actual audio from the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the original trailer, everything that you see in this gameplay reveal happens in the trailer already with the UI and everything. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a waste of time because of that reason specifically, but I'm looking forward to getting points for this in my fantasy league October 17th because it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Next.
Warhammer 40. This game's not out. Well, I guess this is for something else. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 trailer. Received a new trailer with an emphasis on cooperative gameplay. It featured some cinematics, but also featured snippets of gameplay throughout. I've never played a Warhammer game. This
I was gonna
kind of
say
reminds me of Gears. Like it looks like Gears. Over the shoulder,
Yeah.
third person. Like it looks like Gears of War. Looks fun. Like if it is Gears of War, then
for
it
sure.
looks like
This
a good
is
time.
definitely a good looking game that we could play like co-op for like a video or something. So this could be fun. I don't know
Yeah,
how much money
yeah.
it's gonna cost though, because it looks like there's a collector's edition at the end that was very expensive. I don't even know what this is.
I'm sure.
Why do I not remember any of these? Oh, I remember this now.
I remember this, and I was
New
confused
game
then.
called Yes Your Grace Universe was launching in 2024 called Snowfall, and Summer Games Fest featured a new trailer for it. It's very cool looking. I love this animation style. It is kind of 2.5D, where it's like it's got a little bit of dimension to it, and it's not just a fully flat
Mhm.
area. There's lighting and everything. Gameplay wise, I'm not super sure what's going on. It looks like you're like the king of a kingdom and like you have to like make decisions and shit. But there's also war for some reason. That's about all I can gather
Mhm.
from it. Other than that, the style is the thing that I think stands out the most out of everything. Next up though, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Toxic Commando by John Carpenter. First-person horror shooter Toxic Commando received a new trailer depicting the hordes of the undead in wild action gameplay. It comes from horror legend John Carpenter and launches in 2024.
It just looks like
It-
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it looks like a zombie
Yeah.
game number
I will
6.
say obviously the graphics are a little bit better than a Left 4 Dead or a what's the one that came out? Back 4 Blood. Like the graphics are definitely like in a more realistic and
Mhm.
better situation here. But like I don't like
Mhm.
these kinds of games. Like
It's another one of those like, oh no, there's a giant horde of
It's-
zombies. Shoot them.
I don't
type
get
game.
it personally. Like Call of Duty Zombies never appealed to me. But like at least with that it felt like I don't know, like it was more of like an arcade situation than these where it's like the entire game is this, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't mad at zombies
Mhm.
for existing. Because it was like, it's a separate thing inside of this game that I also got when I paid for the main game, and I didn't have to pay extra for it. Cool. This is an entire game that is just Call of Duty Zombies. Like,
True.
I don't think it's much worth it. Because also, like, Back 4 Blood and fucking Left 4 Dead did it right the first time, and they're cheap as shit and still are good. So why the fuck would I play that?
Can't lie about that.
But yeah, after that, we got a release date for Marvel Spider-Man 2 and the show, which is kind of shocking. I will say we didn't really expect that to come, but October 20th is the
Yeah.
release date. So the end of this year, everyone's wallets are fucked.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah,
Because nobody's not getting
I'm for
that.
sure getting the
Everybody's
deluxe
getting
edition.
that.
I talked myself out of that collector's edition
Same.
immediately. Hell yeah.
I'm also
Next
getting
up.
deluxe. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is a new mobile game in development at Square Enix. Summer Games Fest gave us a look at the upcoming game with a new trailer. Players can sign up for the closed beta test on Android from June 8th to June 28th. No,
Yeah.
I won't be doing that. But that's not to shit on anybody who is doing that. I won't be doing that. I'm waiting for the next full
I
Final
feel
Fantasy
that.
VII game, which we'll get
Speaking
to.
of a game that I don't think I'm gonna play because I just haven't been impressed by it so far, Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden. I believe we saw a cinematic trailer for this a little bit ago, where it's like you're a dude and a chick, but the chick's a
Yeah.
ghost and shit, and you're fighting ghosts.
Isn't that like his
Maybe.
wife or something?
So
Yeah, it's his wife.
that's a thing. I don't think it looks impressive in the least bit. I also feel like it's just not something that I'm looking towards myself. It's one of those games where a lot of the attacks are magic based and it's just particle effects everywhere. And while it looks cool, it doesn't communicate well to me, at least in my
Mhm.
brain, of what's happening. So I've never been a fan of those types of games. So sadly, I won't do that.
I mean, I know it's in the works, but the gameplay segments they showed, it's like
Oh, yeah,
it
for
looked
sure.
like it still needs
The
work.
gameplay really kind of like set in stone for me that I'm not like keeping track of this game, if I'm being honest. Like, I'll pay attention when it
Yeah.
comes out and see what's
Yeah.
going down, but I'm not. This is not in the forefront of my brain ever, probably. So
Yeah,
after that,
right. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name trailer. Sega showed off a new trailer for Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, which features gameplay and it will launch November 9th, 2023. So if you're familiar with Like a Dragon, you know what to get into. It's another one of those. Another one of some goofy ass action. There is literally a scene of a man taking a vertical billboard and
Yep.
beating people up in
I
the
could do
street.
that in
with it.
Yakuza 0 as well, and it was goofy there too.
Good old Yakuza
Yeah, I
action
don't know.
right there.
I feel like I've pretty much just soured my taste for that, to say the least. Next up, we got an under the water game called Under the Waves. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a horror game or if it's just supposed to be like ominous constantly.
A vibey mood
I
game.
feel like I'm leaning more towards that of what it's trying to be, because there's never anything in the trailer that's like outright scary, but it doesn't feel like there's like an ominous
Mhm.
feel, like there's something in the darkness that you can't see at all times. So interesting, but nothing that I'm like
right.
super keen on. Ironically, the thumbnail for this video.
Gotcha. Yeah. Call of Duty Season 4. A quick look at the upcoming season of Call of Duty was shown during Summer Games Fest. Season 4 will include a new map called Vondel, which will launch on June 14th, 2023. So
Yeah.
what day is tomorrow? As of this recording, it's tomorrow. As of Friday, it was 2 days ago.
I still need to play Warzone. I'm trying to
Word.
drop into Warzone some point soon. I'm gonna do real quick for the next two ones. Fae Farm trailer. Farming game. Don't need to talk about it.
That was a funny time
After
during
that
the
was
stream.
Marvel Snap, the mobile card game update. Which was kind of weird. I don't know if like the guy that was on stage was kind of weird to say the least. But I don't like that game, so
Yeah.
we're gonna move on from that. Next was Leasefanga the Time Shift Warrior. Gameplay trailer was shown, and I gotta double check it and see what it's like. It kind of looks like a Hades,
Over the top
but you
action,
can
yeah.
rewind time and shit too, which is pretty neat. I
Mhm.
dig that. Yeah, just simple like not a Hades reskin, but practically, you know.
Similar gameplay, new mechanics.
Not as
I mean,
good art
unique
style.
mechanics, but not as good art style. Doesn't
Oh,
look
no.
bad though. So I mean, I guess we'll just wait to see
It's this game.
how that shapes up. More magic and particles. Immortals of Avium. During Summer Games Fest, we got to look at the gameplay for Immortals of Avium. This first-person action game will feature magic at the forefront, with an emphasis on combat and
I'm
exploration.
not sold on this game. Every single time they show it, I'm like a little less and less sold.
Is it weird that like these first-person magic games makes me just want to be like, oh my god, just grab the pistol. Like I just want to see you pick up a gun.
That would be
at this
pretty
point.
funny if that was a part of the story. Here's
Just pick
I
up
just
the
don't
Uzi
like
and
the
go.
look of the thing that's on the guy's arm. Like it looks stupid. Like without being like the magic and stuff is fine, like the way that it's being used. But like the fucking giant hook thing on his arm, like what the fuck? Like it looks so dumb. But you know they're gonna see
Man.
people cosplaying that shit at whatever.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? It's not that, it's just the fact that like the hands are always
Yeah.
just like on the screen. It's just like at this
I
point,
feel
just
that.
get the
This
gun,
is
dog.
made by former Call of Duty devs, so it makes sense why it looks like
That's
this.
a
and it
plus.
does feel very Call of Duty-esque in the shooting, so there's that. I just don't
Mhm.
I'm not vibing with it as much as I should be. Maybe
And I feel like we're like down on some of these last
Yeah.
two events at the very least, but it's more so we found our
Yeah.
favorite stuff, and you can kind of, I think we've been doing this enough, like a long enough time where you can tell which games are going to like be the ones later and
For
which are
sure.
going to like kind of fall.
I feel like this game could
wayside.
be very good. It's just I need a demo. I think like we need a decent demo of this
Yeah.
because
Need
just
hands-on.
watching it is not it's not giving me the fun that I think it would be, if that makes sense.
Right.
Next up after that,
Yeah,
Fortnite
it
Chapter
does.
4 dropped its season 4 or season 3 trailer rather. Which has Optimus Prime. They added Optimus Primal to the Fortnite store. Took out the web swingers, put in a new gun that's shown on the left in this video. It's called the Flapjack rifle, so it's got like a flapjack pancake of bullets, which is pretty cool. And then they also put in a shotgun, not the one that's pictured there, that is extremely overpowered, called the drum shotgun, and it is pretty much a pick that up and win gun. Even if it's like gray
Really?
and like the worst rarity version that has the least damage output, it is insanely good to use, and you can fucking kill someone very fast with it. So there's that. But the last thing that we have to talk about in this whole entire showcase, which I think is probably the biggest thing, most likely, but take it away.
Oh, for sure. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Square Enix finally gave us a first look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second part in the remake series. It featured an in-depth look at gameplay with footage of Cloud and the rest of the cast, including new faces. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth launches early 2024 on 2 discs. 2 discs in the current day is insane to me. It's almost like this game. How long is this shit? If it has to be on 2 discs on a PS5.
There's also a part of me that's like, what if they're just doing it to be like a gimmick? You know, like it's really not that big of a game, but it's more like an homage to the games back then that did do the 2 disc setup.
Yeah, this game had 4 originally on PS1.
I don't know. I think this could be pretty cool, but I gotta
I don't know either.
re-download this because I technically stopped before I got anywhere worth a damn story-wise. So I think I've seen Sephiroth twice in Hallucinations. So I'm not deep at all into the lore of this.
I want to know, is it PS5 exclusive?
I feel like it's gotta be, unless like
Especially coming out in
I
2024.
could see it definitely being a PS5 exclusive thing, but maybe the 2 discs thing is because it's still on PS4. That could also be a situation. Like they couldn't fit everything that was going to be on that one
I don't
disc for a PS4 specifically, and then they just had to up res for the PS5
What-
version, maybe. And it's still 2 discs.
Maybe. I guess what's going to tell I want to know the size of the game because I'm not buying the physical one. So I want to
I
know
feel like
how
you gotta
big
buy
the
physical
download is
one,
going
though,
to
'cause
be.
it's 2 discs, As like a holy shit, it's 2024. I gotta get these 2 discs.
Like
I mean, like,
$140.
think about it, yo.
Like,
This shit's
nah.
like first time in history in the next gen era where we've had to have 2 discs since what year?
I don't know. When the last game that had 2 discs, was it like a PS2 game? I remember 2
I don't
discs in
remember any games
PS2
with 2 discs
time.
in PS2.
It was very rare. Because even then, it was like more room on
Mhm.
disc where you didn't need to do that. So to fast forward 3 generations, and we're at PS5 time in 2020, it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be 2024, is insanity.
It's
to me.
crazy.
What if they were like, this game takes 400 hours to beat? I think at that point I'd be like, nah.
I don't know if it's worth it.
As beautiful and great as I might think it is, I
feel
would
that.
not want to play that long.
Yeah, that was definitely probably the biggest one that was revealed this weekend besides Spider-Man's release date.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was a lot of stuff that I think stood out. One of those was from the Day of the Devs. That skateboarding game is probably like my #1 highlight, just because I was like, that's fucking sick and what I want right now. At least with Spider-Man, it's like I knew it was coming. Like that's not. I can't get more hype just because a date was released. So that's already at a certain point. So the highlight for me was definitely that, I think, Hellscape. And I gotta go play the Viewfinder demo
Hellscape
on
was fire.
PlayStation. But yeah, we made it through. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
We
long,
finally
this
did it.
podcast.
This is the longest
Yeah.
episode in a long time.
It's gonna be a bitch to edit, I'll tell you what. I mean, maybe not. Maybe we don't have to edit much out. Just the beginning.
We didn't
Yeah.
have no interruptions.
Yeah,
It might be
true.
really easy,
Well,
actually.
I'm super tired and need to use the restroom. So,
Me too, to
with
both
that
of those
being
things.
said, anyone who's hanging out in the chat, anyone who's watching this
Mhm.
later in the week and made it to this part of the episode, thank you very much. You can follow us at Save Letter B
We appreciate you.
on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Titty Gang.
Titty.
Titty Gang merch found on SayBeforeQuittingFullySpoutOut.com, where you can pick up your Titty Gang merch, your bitch made merch, your Sonic logo merch, or just the regular old logo that's in the background most times for us. There's so many options. So
Mhm.
go do that. Also go to our Patreon, patreon.com/SaveLetterB Before Quitting, where you can get 2 extra episodes a month where we just talk about bullshit. So, yeah, it's a little
need
bit
that
more
bullshit.
loose, and we do like tier lists and lists of what games Ant should play and shit. I probably have to make my list at some point of the games I've bought because goddamn. But yeah, man, I think that's all we got.
It is.
Then
We gave you a lot. I don't know what
True.
more else we could give you at this point. Except tomorrow when some
Spider-Man's dropping
ridiculous
today.
news drops.
that'd be crazy.
Wow. How fast would you immediately hit your
I
balls? I'm
mean,
like, I am sick.
Funny part is I was sick today, and I told her I was sick, and she kind of didn't really respond to it. But tomorrow, if that happened, I don't exist
I quit.
somewhere.
I will get a
Yeah.
job once I
I'm
beat
going
this
on
game.
maternal. What is it called? Paternal leave. This my baby just got released, bro.
Yeah.
My baby's here.
My baby's here. Let me see a picture.
Yeah,
You just
the
show like
cover art,
the
yeah.
cover.
Look at
I
this
mean,
steel book that I got. It's pretty neat.
Right. Your boss might
Yeah,
be like, "Oh shit,
true.
that's out."
That'd be
Hangs
crazy.
up.
But before you guys call out sick for work tomorrow when Spider-Man 2 eventually comes out, Shadow Drop, make sure you guys always save before
Save before
we'll see you guys
quitting
next time. I'm so fucking tired.
next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
This is
Bye.
your post-credit scene. Whoopity boop post-credit scene.
Dude, we gave you 2.5 hours of presentations. We gave you 2 weeks of podcast in one episode.
Yeah.
I'm overloaded with game information in the last
True. Now we gotta buy
week.
a green screen and another light
and
shit,
presentations.
and film. Yeah.
Shit don't stop.